Uh, things don't look any different than you were here last. It's all pretty much the same in terms of um, of the area around there. Um,
We don't have a stream yet, by the way.
You do.
no, we don't.
Give it 20 seconds.
Oh,
Okay.
Stupid buttons.
No, it's working now.
okay, cool. The introduction to happen.
We're at my mom's house. Mhm.
Okay.
Just started.
Okay. So, Black Claw Village, where we're at here. And one thing you will spot, those you kind of looking around, you will see the larger structure in the back here is kind of where the chieftain lives and where they gather folks there. And so you'll see there's a kind of a large covered porch there. And in the on the porch, out of the sunlight, 'cause it is midday at this point here, pretty bright sunlight for the most part, you will see two very short hooded figures like in conversation, like back in the shadows of that porch. Just so you can see them back there, kind of back over here. Just but Bellatrix and at some point you will see kind of off to the side the kids just kind of like watching and just standing kind of quietly and obviously looking on. So what? There's well problems in the region. I'm sure you've heard, and in Drakoll.
Yes.
There's no one that we're working with at this point, but what we've heard is very disturbing. I'm not really sure what's happening yet.
I don't think that anybody truly knows. My point of contact has said that there hasn't been any information going in or out of that area, and it's just been very bad.
So my information is similar. There have not been reports of children being taken or anything. It's more just chaos, problems in the area. Undead, from what at least one report said.
Well, I don't remember hearing about that one.
Something, yes. I don't know the details or what's going on there yet, but and Grazis was just there's not much happening outside of Drakoll. It's for the most part the Dreadmire. Well, it's changed. Things seem a little different.
Oh,
But
that might have been us. The monster that was inside the lake is no more?
The rest of it's gone.
well, that makes a little more sense then. And the chief and the chief there outside there. The Merc is gone. It is gone. Really?
Yep. Those guys over there, they beat him up. And
Which
we
guys?
won. I point to all of our people.
Oh, I assume you would be there as you are Sora, right?
Yeah, I am.
I see. Right. Very good. Well, I should let everyone know this will be another cause for celebration thanks to you. So we will definitely let everyone know this is definitely changes a lot. We will see. Yes, thank you. And he will kind of like wander off there. He will kind of stay there, but he'll kind of like send a couple people off there, like kind of speaking like in kind of low growling voice, all of them like, and people go kind of running off to various directions.
We got the supplies and stuff loaded onto the ship before we left.
Yep.
So I'm going to let Mom know about that. That the supplies are on the ships. Ship. One ship.
Excellent. We'll have we'll gather some people to help unload it. For the most part, always appreciated. Um,
And then I have toys for the kiddos. Wherever they went.
they're sort of like standing off to the side. At this point, they kind of slowly approaching there, looking at all of you. They don't seem to be looking afraid at any of you, other than they're looking a little quizzically at you, Sora, because obviously
Mm-hmm.
you look there. They don't seem to be afraid. No one here seems to be afraid exactly. It's just more like it's odd. It's different. But
Call her down to the kids. I says, don't worry about her. Nothing's changed except she likes the taste of lizards.
Grimbar, listen, my nephew is more well behaved than you are, and he's 2.
the chieftain's like, well, they are good eating, yes. Like,
Oh dear Lord. And yes, Jim, I took the cauldron of plenty.
Yeah.
Out of the lot, and I'm going to give it to my mom to help feed the village.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
This changed things quite a bit.
A lot of
I-
changes happening today, huh?
Yes, very much so. And potentially more down the road, depending on what's going on. She kind of like nods over. Hess is here. Was arrived a couple days ago. Someone with him. I don't know who. If it's a relative or someone associate, I'm not sure exactly, but they've been sort of keeping to themselves for the most part. But I'm sure they would want to talk to you. They're going to know more, I believe. We haven't been interrogating them at this time, mostly because, well, other things to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Who came, Jim? I missed that part.
What?
Yes?
Cass.
Yes.
No, Cass.
Is up on the porch. She kind of points to the 2 cloaked figures on the porch.
Oh, right.
And he's a
And
little,
she had guidance last time.
yeah, that's the kobold.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. And they're both sort of like as they sort of acknowledge the fact that somebody's pointing over to them, looking over there, like you'll see the dark gray scaled kobold kind of pulls his hood back a little bit there and kind of like squints a little because at the sunlight and just gives you a quick wave. There's a brief moment and let's see, probably go ahead and say Amethyst, you'll probably the one a whispered message in your ear. Not in your head, but in your ear. Message cantrip there. I have information about what's going on in Drakoll. I understand you're here to look into things, so there'll be time to fill you in, and I have someone with me.
I will reiterate this to the rest of the group and say Cass over there has got something to say to us, so I'm going to go chat with him. And I'll head over in that direction.
Okay. As you approach, you will see standing next to Cass About the same size. Uh, cloak, hooded cloak there, hood pulled up there. But where Cass is kind of a dark gray scale, this one has more of a reddish colored scales. They're also a kobold, obviously. Um,
Hmm.
you can see this. Well, we'll see more details in just a moment. But as you approach there, they they both wait until you actually come up onto the porch, as they do not want to go out in the sunlight. Um, as kobolds do not like the sunlight. um,
Uh, well, good to see you. I figure we're going to all need to talk together and um, at some point. There's no rush. I mean, you just arrived, so. But I do have someone here who has a little more information and what I've gathered and such. So we'll be able to talk more when everyone's had a chance to settle in.
so you've got the two kids there, and a few other of the uh, um, lizard folk kids have kind of gathered around as you hand out the toys to them. They turn
Awesome.
around immediately, start sharing with the other kids, and they'll run off and go play.
Awesome. That's great. Be careful with that sword, though. It's real. It's not wooden. You could hurt
So,
yourself.
You gave the
So,
kids a real sword.
I gave him a
uh,
little short sword.
your little brother, one of the magic ones, that'd be great.
No, not a magic one.
Uh, he holds it and like kind of gives you a big like toothy grin and goes running off like they're holding it there.
Uh-huh.
He
And
does seem
then,
to he doesn't like start waving around anybody, but he's holding it in a way kind of like away from himself, like he's ready to kind of start using
Mhm.
it maybe. Um,
she got the rune of chalice.
that's right.
Yes,
So
from Eldon.
excellent. She's just sort of looking at.
Thank you. I, I, I will. I will find out what we can do with this. Thank you. Um,
And like she kind of follows after the ones not quite not running around. She just like follows quietly behind them, just sort of looking down at it
Mhm.
um and checking, studying it, obviously studying it. Um, uh, Grazis is like watching his son there running off with a sword, just kind of like giving you this look of like I was going to present him something similar on his birthday, but well, there we go.
Well, he can have two. There's dual-handed weaponing. I'm doing it with both my hammers, and I will pull both of them out. One of fiery, one of thundery.
Yes, I've seen them in action. They're quite impressive.
Well, thank you. I happen
I
to
should
like them.
I should go watch over the little one, make sure it doesn't stab anybody. Um, I'll
Probably
leave you
best.
to it. And he kind of wanders off there toward where the kids are playing there, and you see him sort of like, "Oh, don't don't wave it around it that close to anyone. Move it to the bowl." And like, like put him in front of this like, very very stout looking wooden pole where he just starts um starts showing him how to like to swing the sword back and forth and like making little like notches in the post there as he does.
Very
Um,
good.
yeah.
Well, you should all.
And just kind of waves there. We should all gather. Maybe the chieftain's hut has a large gathering space there. We could use that. As your
Okay.
mother sort of
Sounds good.
doing.
We can head over into Kesk's area.
Um. So, you all have the main chamber. There was sort of a large like meeting space essentially. It'll hold about probably 15 people or so of lizard folk size. So it's a fairly sizable space. There's um a like a little like almost like a little like a sunken like space in the middle where someone could stand and kind of look around at all each other there, and little cushions and benches and stuff all around the outside of this somewhat circular chamber. Um, but yes, and leads you all in there, and Once everyone's inside, Cass will um,
Thank you for being here. I know that there's a number of rumors and such and information flying around what's going on, and I have with me someone who knows a bit more, a bit, but I'm here to sort of help with maybe next steps. Um,
and he points to you, and he points to this other kobold, and tell me, would you like to describe what they see here?
Yes. So what you see is a red-scaled kobold. Is heavily scarred. So you see a scar down one of his right eye. You see as the sleeves come up a little bit from his cloak. He's got little scars. Is wearing beautiful leather armor, and you see two sheathed swords hanging out from his right. Um, from his cloak. He's smoking a long stem pipe. It's very it's kind of like chewing on something and smoking a little pipe. He has red, very bright red lizard eyes. And yes, he's turned. Yes, hello. My name is Esk. It is good to meet you all. Yes, I have come with news for Drakoll. Yes.
What is this news?
Yes. The Cass. Oh, yeah. My name is Esk. It is good to meet you all. I was traveling near there, and the necropolis has been shuttered. The undead are pouring into the tunnels, and it is like nothing we have seen before. I used to guard the necropolis, and it has been many years, but it is a thing that is most worrisome. Yes. Yes.
Doesn't sound great.
From what reports, what we've been trying to gather here, it's been a matter of a few weeks now since the initial first problems were reported. And then, as Esk here has said, the necropolis is underneath Aria, the largest city in Drakoll. It's where all of the dead of Drakoll are buried, interred, kept to rest. And something has obviously disturbed them, and now they're roaming the underroads and other places and causing problems. As Esk mentioned, this is the first I'm hearing of this, but that the necropolis itself has been sealed. It's been closed up, and no one's allowed to go in or out of it. It's obviously whatever's there has been hopefully contained, but enough has spilled out to cause problems. But people like Ask and others like them are experts at dealing with them, and have been trying to put down the problems that have arisen. But whatever is the cause of this, we don't know. And I don't know that any of our leadership has devised a plan of action yet. I have a feeling they have not. They tend to just contain things and hope they stop being a problem, which is never a good idea. Any cook will tell you that.
So, I'm assuming you found a way in then.
No.
You've had a couple weeks and you haven't found a way in yet.
I don't go all the way there. I mostly stay around Agiris, and so I've been gathering information and finding out here. Um,
It is,
Escort.
yes, it is me. Mm, there is some ways in, however, the issue is that many of them have been shuttered. But something is happening. I do have some friends in the watch, uh, still, yes, but whatever is happening is pouring in and out of the necropolis. That is. Many are saying the birth of the issues, but that are just some rumors. But yes.
There's a matter. The issue is, most don't even know. Well, the necropolis is not a well-known thing outside of Drakoll. In fact, you're probably 50 people who have ever even heard of it at this point. It's not like they can just send people in to go deal with it. However, there are likely ways to get in, but they're all going to be watched and monitored, and they aren't going to let just anyone waltz in.
And
They're catacombs. Why aren't the Dragonkin just sending in an army and just take care of the catacombs?
I can't answer that one.
and just to kind of put it out there,
Yeah.
this is also a very holy place. It is a very important place.
Right. It's
And
it's
to just,
all
like-
clerics and guards. That's basically it. Clerics and guards.
Yeah.
That's all that's allowed in there.
Did you happen to see if Strolux went in there?
No, he is an Agiris. I can confirm that.
Okay.
He is not. Those are not part of his duties to deal with the necropolis. That is a specific division of priests and warriors and trained people that are supposed to take care of it. So there's not. He would not be called upon to do that. He is stationed in Agiris, and that's where he will stay.
Okay, good.
Yes.
What sort of undead have been pouring out?
Primarily skeletons and animated dead. Unfortunately, I would say,
And
some more incorporeal types from reports we're getting now. Things like wraith, that kind of thing. Those have been the more troublesome ones to deal with, of course.
and Esk, you would know that the occasional odd animated dead would happen and be put down, and then essentially reinterred at that point. But the reports of wraith and the like are way more disturbing. They're a lot harder to deal with.
Didn't we fight a couple of wraiths?
Sure.
Like in the fishing city?
Those were shadows.
So,
Yeah.
was it? I think Wraith's the only Wraith we fought, and he wasn't a Wraith, he was just
No.
Wraith.
That was his name, not what he was.
Still a
Right.
jerk.
Um,
Yeah, I was a jerk.
Big old meanie face. Yeah.
So, and Esk, this next part won't be news to you. You'll
If you're able to help, and I think that's probably why you're here, gaining access will not be something that can be done easily. You need support, approval, and for that, I need you to come with us.
And
Okay.
We need to actually go to Agiris.
you can zoom that in a little bit there. It's a little more here. So what you have here is the 5 cities of Drakoll. Agiris being the one here that you were most recently closest to. And you know that's where Strolix is. Then we have Zinkrel, Stanor, Kuvriak, and Arya. Arya is the largest, and this is where the gold dragonkin primarily are. It is the oldest and largest of the cities that was founded in the area here. Zinkrel is a trade port, and with this, you actually were in Zinkrel at some point there. That's actually where you hopped a ship. At least one of the stops that you made to take a ship up the Swordbreak Straits. Grim, you have been in Kuvriak. That is where the primary mining interests happen. And likely Stanor as well, because that's where also the mining, all the ore is essentially shipped in and out of. So you've dealt with those 2 places here. And so,
Castle's just like say, I've been instructed to bring you to Agiris. And so that you can be allowed access to the region.
By whom?
Well, by the queens. I can't say a lot here, but in Agiris you'll actually you'll be having an audience with the queen.
First it's duchess and now queens. Okay.
Hey, don't queens outrank duchesses?
Well,
Different.
especially here. So, queen is also a term reserved for those that can have children.
and he Cass kind of looks at you and your mother as like,
Okay, if I I don't know if you've explained this to them or
Yeah, go ahead. I think we've talked about it before, but yeah, go ahead.
so anyway, not all dragonkin females can have children. Those that can are elevated to a level of importance. The term queen is more of a it's the terms are translations. They don't actually mean royalty in this sense here. So a princess, and the word he uses, the draconic there, is actually meaning youngest of youngest who can bear children, essentially. So when someone has their first clutch of hatchlings, they're known as a princess. When they've had more than one, they become a baroness. Those who have had multiple clutches, who no longer can, are a duchess, and the eldest of them is the queen, and they're the ones in charge. She has her court of advisors, the other duchesses and such, and their whole purpose in Dragonkin society is to rule and to have children. They are the ones who make sure that the country, that the city-states, essentially, are all defended, cared for, and operating. I will say, Queen Soltira, she is a Vigiris, is... I have not dealt with the others, but she is a good person. She cares for her people and has less of the issues that others have.
Your mother sort of like stands there and just kind of like scowling a bit, but
Mm-hmm.
she's not disagreeing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't see her like shaking her head or anything else. That she's just sort of like kind of that stone face, but she's not contradicting him at all.
Right. Yeah, I know it's complicated how things work with us. Um, when is she expecting us?
And there is no timeline specifically when you are available, when you can come. The sooner the better, obviously, as there's the problem, at least for now, seems to be primarily contained. It's more of a cleaning up and maintaining the roads at this point that has been going on. But the necropolis itself is sealed.
Something is causing. Yes, something is causing the undead to pour out. The necropolis is the one of the wonders of our people, both of our peoples. Yes, and it is vast and deep underground. Yes, something is causing this.
Yeah, so here's the information we had so far on that. There is something in the mountain that drove the Merc into the. Merc is no longer there. We've taken care of that.
That
That what?
that is good to hear. There's been long time that there's been legends of issues in the lake, so it is good to know that has been hopefully removed. Excellent.
But it used to reside within the mountain. So, the fact that it was chased out and put inside the Merc, the Lurk in the Merc, it means inside the must be that much more powerful and that much more scary. Shatara, are you getting any of your tingly, sensey feelings about the mountain now that we're closer to it?
Sidara, you've been reading the stars the last few nights on the way here, then reaching out your senses, and what you can feel of the presence that's in the region here. It's strong. Whatever is here is strong. You can't quite pinpoint it specifically, but it is definitely somewhere in the mountain. Since it from that there, where in the mountains you cannot pinpoint it. It's just somewhere in that direction. So, but it's definitely stronger than it was. Well, you're getting closer because it feels stronger. I should say that it's not something that it's growing in strength. There, you're getting in closer proximity to it. That you aren't sensing any direct connections to anything. It's not, yeah.
I don't feel any direct connections, and I can't pinpoint it. But we're definitely getting closer. It's definitely in the mountains.
Beneath the mountains, probably.
Right beneath the mountains.
Yeah.
Confirming that.
All right.
Is the Acropolis under Agiris then?
No, it's under Aria.
It's under Aria.
Under Aria,
Yeah.
but we've got to go to Agiris to get permission.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those who are not of Drakoll are not allowed free travel through the area and would never. I will say this. I can count on one hand the number of times I've heard that anyone who wasn't either dragonkin or a kobold was allowed to step foot in Aria. That's and never in the necropolis.
Do you want to talk about snotty twitties? That's them. Okay.
I mean, it's more xenophobia than anything. It's
Joel, do we want to rest here for the night and then head over in the morning?
I mean,
Didn't we
I-
rest on the ship?
Do what with the ship?
I think, didn't we rest on the ship on the way here?
Yeah,
You've been resting the whole time.
we have been.
I mean,
Visit.
Is
that
it
right?
evening now, or is it like morning?
it's midday.
Mhm.
I mean, the sun is still high in the sky.
I mean, we could go to Azuris and meet with the queen person.
it will take some time to. It will take some time to get there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say too, there are parts approaching Azuris by airship won't be a problem. Other parts of Drakoll might be more of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with permission, that may change.
So we are allowed to fly there. They try and shoot us out the sky.
Yeah, like so. The impression is like getting to Azira, not a problem. Flying over the mountains around the rest of the area would be more of an issue. But yeah, so you could just fly to Azira because it's right on kind of on the edge over here.
Where are we right now, Jim?
The yellow dot here.
Okay. So we
So
could
it-
kind of do like a bit of a like fly round
Yeah,
here and then
yeah.
go north up there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
kind of following this little branch of the river here. Yeah.
Like fly that way and then
Yeah,
And
totally.
and then I could leave you underground, of course, if we wanted to take that route.
I mean, that would be the most sense. You know the Under Road's probably better than most. So
Yes.
Esk could be your guide essentially through the parts there. I know Azuris and the place around there,
And you do know that actually, right about here is where Cass led you into to go find the children. Right about where this little river is here.
Yeah.
So,
What is Esk wearing again?
So he's wearing it's a beautiful cloak, but it's like foresty color type of thing, but it's well woven. And then he's wearing a leather armor, studded leather armor, and you see down his arms, his like it stops at like elbow is where the armor stops, and then everything from elbow down is like a cloth wrapping, basically wrapped up.
bracer
And,
on one
like,
hand, though.
Yeah, yep. Bracer on one hand. You see a bracer on his right hand, and then you also see he has a very intricate type of belt that has a couple of little potions hanging off the side of it that look like they could be health potions. Then you see he has several rings on both hands. Well, two rings on one hand and then another ring on his thumb. And you see two beautiful ornate swords sheathed above his right shoulder. It's kind of
And one thing you'll spot is that the bracer he's wearing there and his belt are both Manatech. By the look of things, from what you could tell. Yeah. So,
I mean, we're at your disposal to travel there. I can travel with you on the ship. Make sure you get in the right direction. Also, make sure that everyone is aware of your presence, so the Drake Guard doesn't cause you any issues on the approach to Agiris itself.
That would be greatly appreciated. We don't
Of
need any
course.
more trouble.
Understandable. And I know the Queen will be eager to meet with you.
So, here's something to note. I'm obviously not looking like a blue Sora. I'm looking a different Sora. So,
I noticed.
is she aware of that?
I don't know exactly what she's aware of. I would say probably just because she's quite intelligent and well informed. And she has not expressed any issue.
Are they silver dragons where we're going?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say what you've done will be very helpful for the rest of Drakoll, obviously. But you should be. There will not be any issue. Well, you should rest. You've had a long travel, I'm sure. You should rest. I'm sure. I think I saw the chieftain was already planning some big celebration thing. There's a big pot out there now. What did?
Yeah, we
Being
brought
stu-
that. If you
Okay.
stir it, it makes stew for lots of people.
I think 360 people a day, maybe? 360 meals a day, I think it comes up with.
That's what our mathematicians have figured out. Yep.
I'm mathematicians.
Not
that-
me. Sora
will
doesn't
be-
have the intelligence for that.
Very helpful then. Yes. Awesome.
Great. I mean, last time we came, we brought a dinosaur. This time we came, we're bringing a pot, a
It
cauldron.
holds 30 gallons of liquid, and it provides a nourishing meal for up to 4 people per gallon. And you can do that 3 times per day. So
Mhm.
so I think it's 360 bowls of stew per day.
Well, that's
Which is useful.
that will be very useful. Yes. Excellent.
Nance and I both got the same idea. We're like, oh, we should give it to Sora's mom.
We did.
Uh,
What am I
As
gonna do?
eyes are just wide open as we're talking about like feeding this entire village for like ever.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, they will definitely Cass will essentially
Go and rest up and eat, enjoy whatever. We can go whenever you're ready.
I would like to mention to Sora's mother as well that there is a whole cave system now under the lake that is empty and safe to be in. So if they do need more space for people or somewhere to hide at any point, that might be somewhere where they might do that.
I'm sure they will start exploring more and seeing what they can find. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more interest in delving into the lake. There are still dangers, of course, but without having something that can dominate one's mind and drive you away from your people, I have heard stories for most of my time here of people that swim too deep into the lake and never return, or that return wrong.
Yeah, it was possessing people and getting them to bring more people into it
Yeah.
and things, but it's gone now. So
Very old place, so I'm sure there's all sorts of interesting things down there.
mm.
I'll leave them to it. I don't like to go in the water.
I don't blame you.
Not me really either, but
Me either, actually. Not much for swimming.
Shatora has a knack for swimming. She turns into this creature. I don't even know what it's called, but
a
it's like
space guppy.
this big.
A space guppy. It wasn't this big.
Tiny. It was like
Guppy.
it was- no.
Small size,
No.
not tiny.
Yeah, it's not a little thing. It's like the size of Kess.
Like the
And
halfling
ask.
size, yeah.
Yeah,
So Sora was large
sure.
when she saw Space Guppy. This big.
Wasn't this big.
Yeah. You didn't grow to like Harass size. You grew to like double your height there. So she looks small, but yeah. Anyway, anything else anyone's discussing or doing or in the time here?
No, but I think Sora wants to try to commune with her deity while we're here.
And I want to give Mom her sheath for her sword.
Sure.
Shouldn't just carry it around on your back. It should be protected.
What was carried in it? It wasn't
She's for
like-
extra protection. Isn't she a princess?
Lucas
Technically,
is looking.
Go ahead.
Lucas is looking for something unique to the village,
Okay.
so they can potentially teleport back to it at some point.
Excellent. Yeah. So your mom's technically a baroness by the standards there because she's had more than one clutch.
Of course.
Lucas, yeah, you'll find what you can find are some of the little posts and a lot of the little things on the porch of the chieftain's like building, essentially home there. There's a bunch of hanging like bone. They're like carved bones. They're hollowed out and everything else, and it's almost like wind chimes. You can kind of pluck off one of the little wind chimes there, one of the little carved bone pieces from one of the wind chimes there, and pocket that. So yeah,
Sorry, what's the village called? Have you got a name?
Black Claw Village.
Black Claws.
Yeah.
Didn't we take the tooth of the of that tyrannosaur type thing that we the fangs? Didn't we take a fang from there?
Yeah,
When
you
we
do have it. Yeah.
Killed it? That could
Yeah, you
be.
do.
Could that be it?
Oh, that thing's big. I mean, like look at this being something that large, but yeah, no.
I thought we
Yeah.
took something like that as a memento one time.
Oh yeah, you took one of the teeth. Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
in
the
Eldon's. It was in Eldon's bag of holding.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Lucas would do something specific to the village rather than just the area in general.
okay.
So yeah, that would looking around that's probably that would do. So yeah, that's not a problem there. You will see some people running around, kind of setting up the cauldron, trying it out, and like people like they're getting very excited there. They will by the time the evening rolls around, they will have filled up the stew pot, and they actually thrown in like more meat and stuff into it to make more of a meat stew rather than just the plain the kind of the plain. It's a hearty good stew, but they add more stuff to it there to make it even more so. And so people are all kind of running around with bowls of stew and definitely some of the party aspect of the kind of kicks into higher gear as people are definitely in the mood to celebrate with the fact that the lake is safer, though you will come to realize the hunters and Grazis will mention to you all at some point there that
I suppose that means that the creatures of the area may be a little more wild. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think it'll be interesting. The hunts will be a little more chaotic. But this is good. This is good. Our our people are definitely up to the task.
Should
And
have
well,
fun.
so,
I would hope they would have fun. I would
Yeah.
have fun.
So, Sora, you were going to do a bit of communing. Any specific place or preparations you're going to make, or what is your intent?
Just more questions about what's going on inside of there. That obviously we can't get lockdown information on. Like what turned them to be undead? Like obviously they were dead, but who rose them? How long ago it started?
I
Anybody
mean,
important that died? I don't know. Stuff along that line. Of course, he
Give
doesn't have
me-
to answer if he doesn't want to.
well, give me a religion check. And you trained in that, so
I did. I did train in that. I do believe in
Finally, the
fairies.
paladin trained in religion.
yep, amazing.
I know, right? Who would have
The,
thunk
the
it?
chosen paladin of Bahamut.
And actually, let me. Yeah, okay. So you will not get a flood of information.
Mm-hmm.
However, you will get definitely a sense of approval for the course of action you're embarking on. So that you are definitely doing something worthwhile, something that needs to be done. You will see the few words or images that you get all sort of boil down to something old and sealed away.
So it used to be sealed away, and it's no longer.
You're all, it's not a conversation, so it's basically
I know.
yeah. So old and sealed away. There's also you get with that sort of image / word. There is the draconic word for guide. Not a name, more like a title is how it seems to be, is the connotation you get from it. And so you were saying, what did it, and just a there's a bit of a warning to you around Aurea. Not the necropolis, but for Aurea itself. And the sensation is more that is the heart of corruption.
Okay. That's what I was looking for.
That's where it has taken hold the most, I should say. Is kind of the sensation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was looking for.
Yep.
That works for me.
Yep.
Thanks, Bahamut. You're the bestest.
Again, very very little in the way of words, more sensations and sort of images and kind of inferred meanings and such. You feel very confident in what you got there. So ask some things that you can kind of provide and some things that you can kind of let them know about here as conversation has turned in that Drakoll, some important things to know. Drakoll itself has very little to do with magical technology like airships and manatech. In general, they rely on more old school enchantments and more things of that nature.
There's like no mana attack.
Very little. I mean, there's some, but there's very few like artisans of manatech there. Some has been traded, especially in Zincro, which is sort of the main merchant hub. So that's the place where most people come and go. So there's a lot of trade that happens there. So if you're going to find manatech to buy or trade there, it's going to be in Zincro.
That's where I got these.
Exactly. That more than likely, yeah. Which so to pass it along here, and Grim, you can confirm this here. Kubriak is the main mining up here, is the main mining hub. Most of the riches that are mined are coming from this end of the mountains up in here, around here. That's the copper dragons for the most part. Stanor is where the brass dragons are. It is very much a shipping hub, while merchants and travelers go to Zinkrel. Stanor is where, if they're going to move any goods in and out, especially in the way of mining things that have been mined, it's going to go in and out of Stanor. And the brass dragons are fairly social. They are the ones that are a little bit more, a lot more moody than most. They're very hot-headed, as they are fire-based also. Oria, you haven't spent a lot of time there in the city proper. You've been mostly in the necropolis down deep below it. It is not a place. It is there's a lot of people there. It's the largest city, but it's also the most oppressive in terms of like, you will not do anything wrong. You will not cause any problems. It's almost like a police state practically there a lot of the time. It's very much regimented and very like rigid in its structure and its hierarchy and everything else.
I spent my whole time there underground.
Yeah, pretty much. Oria is not a fun place to go, but there's a lot there.
So
as well.
When Muhammad said to Sora, the word guide, do we think by that he meant like kobold? Because don't the kobolds generally work as guides to the Dragonkin?
It was in relation to what was old and sealed away.
Okay. Yeah, I just wondered if
that was the context.
Was
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So. And so Sora, if you're still there, do you let the group know what you heard?
Yes, I definitely would have done that. Yes.
So, Esk, you know that within Necropolis itself, there is a massive crypt that's in the Necropolis itself there that is always sealed. There are guards on the outside of it there. No one goes in or out of it. And in fact, that is where that is the only place you find the Crystal Guard.
Okay.
Crystal Gemstone Dragon King.
Dragons. The only ones left.
They all guard that crypt. And that is their
What happened to the other ones? Because we found a couple down in the mountain when we were here last.
They've been gone for centuries.
What do you mean by you found some underground? I have been underground for many, many, many years, and I have never seen any but the Crystal Guard.
Have you gone inside the mountain?
Of course, yes.
Well, when we went down there, there's a couple of them down there who were, what would you call them? Tainted? Controlled?
What?
They weren't normal, but they were definitely crystals.
They were crystal.
They were
yes?
emerald. They were emerald.
Emerald. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? No?
No,
Different?
crystal.
No,
Crystal's
different.
like clear.
Crystal is clear.
Um,
Yeah,
Emeralds are
as in
green.
like
Amethyst are
Yeah.
blue.
amethysts are purple,
Purple.
Purple.
Amethyst are
Yeah.
purple. Yeah.
and then
Sure,
sapphire
it's
and
like-
Sapphire is blue. Sapphire.
and you only know them from legend. You've never, other than the crystal, you've never seen them.
Right. And
You heard of them, that they may exist, but never seen one.
yes, that is fascinating. I have never seen other than crystals, which even most of my people have not seen crystals. They only guard the crypt. Catacombs. Yes, the catacombs deep. Yes, interesting. How interesting. And you said tainted. What do you mean by tainted?
some type of void? It wasn't right. They weren't them, but they weren't like being mind controlled in the sense of it was a spell. I don't know. They didn't take
Escroll.
over my mind. They took over Amethyst's mind. You might want to ask her. She'll be able to tell you.
Eldon or Esk
But
is going
Endora.
to pick up some jungle punch as he walks over and sits next to Amethyst. Yes, hello. My name is Esk. It is a pleasure to meet you. Yes, you.
Me?
Yes, you.
Amethyst.
As
Hi.
you see the 2.5 foot tall kobold with a tail, my tail like wraps around, sits in my lap as I'm holding the jungle punch. Yes,
Oh.
hello. So I was speaking.
You did me earlier. I came over and spoke to you earlier on.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes. So I was speaking with Miss Sora, I believe is her name, and she said that you encountered more gemstone dragonkin. Yes.
Emeralds, yes.
Fascinating. It is. I have never heard of such a thing. They have been dead for hundreds, if
No.
not thousands of years.
Gone. Yeah.
Yes.
Not necessarily dead, but definitely haven't been seen, I think, for a long time.
How interesting.
This. I mean, do you want to describe what you found? Because you cracked one
Yes.
open.
What we found?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly can tell him.
Well, mostly I know Satara wasn't here and Esk wasn't here, and so letting them know what you found.
The character knows. The player doesn't remember how it happened.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
too busy dealing with the whole Grimbar got scratched by pussycat claws for an itsy bitsy wincy tiny amount of damage.
I had a gaping wound on my back.
Yes. Oh no.
That was healed instantly.
Yeah, you took
By
four-
healing word, no less.
4 hit points and yeah.
Lay on
yeah,
hands. Lay
My-
on hands.
By a first level healing word, I'm pretty sure.
wasn't it like 5 points of lay on hands or something?
It was.
Yeah.
Was
So,
overkill because he obviously only took 4 damage.
so rather than focus on the inconsequential scratch that happened, the more important thing being what the heck the Emerald Dragonkin was inside of them, essentially. So
It was the black. It was the blackness in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the void. It was an actual part of the void that it had entered in them and taken a hold of them. And
their internal organs, when you open them up, were kind of rubbery and black. Their actual face split apart, and it was sort of a black, toothy, like secondary mouth there, essentially, a little bit like alien kind of. Um, and so, like the physiology of these things was completely messed up, and so, Sitara, hearing that is absolutely a corruption of the void, the grasping void. The blackness is a physical thing, not just a. It is there is substance to it, and it will corrupt and twist and do terrible things. You've seen it out in astral space before. Things that have been corrupted by the deep things, the eldritch spawn that are out there, and how they can mess things up there. Very
So-
similar, yes.
Was it similar to what we saw when we destroyed the book?
Yes, the black rubbery tentacles.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. So it is very similar substance. That like literally, it is not shiny and slick. It absorbs light, and so it's not. So even though it moves around like a what you would think would be slimy. There, it is just this completely flat black, um, like rubbery substance. But same thing on the inside of these things when you cracked one open there.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so
I will
yeah,
describe that to him, and then obviously I'm going to mention the book as well. That it was similar to that when we destroyed the book, and see if he knows anything about the grasping void.
I've never
You
heard
would-
anything. Yeah, I've never.
wouldn't be anything you would have heard of. Not really. I mean, you can give me an Arcana check just to see. I mean, I know you're trained, so
Yeah, but this isn't dealing with undead, right? So I don't have.
no, it's
advantage.
not. But I mean, it would no advantage. Yes, definitely not. Okay, I mean, it sounds like some extra planar thing, but you have no experience with it whatsoever. Yeah, it definitely sounds like something that's from beyond, but nothing you would have dealt with.
That is not in my expertise. Demons, undead, things like that. That is, yes, but extra planar things, not so much, unfortunately.
Like her, and points to Satara.
Yes, I am from astral space.
Wait, truly?
Truly.
Whoa. Eldon is going to, or
Yeah, there you go. your
Eldon?
your own
Uh-oh.
fault, guys. Keep
Ask
bringing it
is
up in the
going
chat
to-
there.
I know they keep on bringing it up.
Leave me alone.
After I just said it, yeah. Ask is going to pick up his punch and go sit by Star and ask questions about the Astral Sea and what that was like and
Mhm.
that kind of stuff.
I'll answer you everything I can. I did grow up rather sheltered, so I didn't see everything, but you know.
Definitely saw. And Esk, you can also describe you've seen into Shadowfell. You have seen. You've never gone into it, but you've seen what it looks like.
Esk would go into a fun tale of his training as a guard for the Necropolis and how there is a city far to the south, well destroyed, that portals to the Shadowfell were ripped into our reality and undead pour from them. And I was going to describe like the blackness and like all of the different horrors that come pouring through there that we as guards are required to stop. And the training and going to describe like all of the crazy different types of undead and that kind of stuff like that, and how it has been an interest of mine to experience the world around, and how it was. It is very interesting to hear of other planes of existence.
Sutara will listen intently and, oh, that must have been terrifying.
The bits of Shadowfell you saw, sometimes it just looked like a dark, shadowy place. Like you saw what looked to be like trees, but they were just dead trees, and there was no everything was just shrouded in darkness and shadow, and everything sort of had this like the idea of after like at nighttime you can still see the shapes of things, but they're just dark and there's no details and nothing in focus, but things constantly move and shift, and whatever moves in Shadowfell is always going to be dangerous.
See, this is why we're not going to the Shadowfell, right? Because we don't need to go to another plane of existence. We've already been to one. Right, guys?
I don't think we have any plans to go there right now at the moment. But then
Or
again, I
all?
mean, we didn't have any plans to go to the Feywild, and we ended up there. So, I mean, who knows? Take
No.
each day as it comes, right?
No, we're not going. If we see something dark and shadowy, we go the other way.
Did Sutara
No.
take plane shift, by the way?
She did.
Okay, so we do have an actual way of getting out if we get trapped somewhere.
Hey, what
So
were
we
you
can
going
go
to
to the
say?
Shadowfell. So we can go to the Shadowfell now. We've got plane shift.
No. You can go all you want. Sora's staying right here.
What I mean is, we had no plans of going to the Feywild, so if we do end up in the Shadowfell, at least we have a way to get back.
Well,
Sutara.
bully for you, but still.
Bully for me? Bully for all of us.
So Sutara, with that spell you have now, you have 2 planes you can fairly easily shift to. It's astral plane, because you have things that you brought with you from home. And you now have the material plane. You've been here long enough to have gathered what you needed for that. Pretty much just a stone, a bundle of twigs, a wreath of flowers, whatever you can put together that would be a piece of the material plane. And so if you found yourself shunted off somewhere, you could come shift back to the material plane, even though it's not your native home.
While we're
Okay.
speaking of shifting and going to different places, I was looking over Sora's character sheet earlier this morning, and I found something that piqued my interest that might be for Lucas. We have a tiny or some type of item that can get him to the Feywilds. Where did I find it?
I mean, technically, Amethyst Wand would work too.
Yes, but I don't want it in my pocket because I don't want to go there.
You have something else that would go to another plane as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jim froze.
I
Yeah.
did.
Did everyone freeze?
I didn't. No,
Oh no.
it's just
Just
you.
you.
Me?
No, just
Oh, you're fine.
Oh,
you're fine.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you have something from the elemental plane of fire.
Yeah.
Your bag
That's right. We do
and
have
the
something
box
for.
and
I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody knows about that box.
I
Except
stole
for
it. I moved it.
me. You
well,
stole a bag.
I took it and moved it around.
all right. So so discussing future plans, capabilities, things like that. What's going on? What the village's plans are for the evening.
I would think that we would just hang out and chill with them for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then probably rest.
Sure. It's not hard. The ship's crew, they're ready to go whenever you are. Essentially, the idea of flying off to Drakoll and seeing one of the cities there is rather interesting for most of them.
That's
Um,
intriguing. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and I will say, for Satara there, it doesn't necessarily be physically a forked metal rod. It can be something that's of value that's attuned to the plane there, rather than it doesn't need to be that specific thing. It just needs to be something that's specifically tuned to the plane of existence you want to go to. Um, so yeah,
Okay.
a little more leeway on that than like it has to be this one specific thing. Right.
Ooh.
Welcome back, Alma.
Here
Yes.
it is.
There it is. There you go.
I found it.
Okay.
There you go.
Lucas, you can now have that.
Yep. Well, that would be something that Lucas could use specifically.
No, if
You don't have
will,
a plane ship there, so Satara.
Satara, there.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
have that, Satara.
Oh,
You
thank you.
have an anchor to the Feywild as well.
Ooh, fun.
I
Let's go there.
don't recommend going there because
Why not?
no.
You've been there once. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
And
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I got from going there? I got this really cool pumpkin cupcake that I can just eat all the time. So
I gave you that last week.
yeah, it's because I didn't get to eat the pumpkin from the Feywild. So
Yeah, you got this weird obsession with pumpkins while you were there for some reason, despite almost being murdered by one.
So, the evening will pass, and as I said, if you want to leave in the middle of the night, you can, and rest on the ship, however you want to go here. But regardless, nothing will befall you in the village itself. You're able to kind of get a little time with I wouldn't call this civilization because it is pretty a rough looking, fairly low tech place. But the people there are very lively and friendly, and are very happy to see you all, and sad to see you go. But you're able. Yeah, go ahead.
She said, I will mention to Sora's mother and her mate that I can now teleport to the village and back to Port Aurus or back to our home, or if that's useful to them.
That might be very useful in the future as transportation of,
good.
well, our special shipments, let's just call them. If we do have anyone else, we'll let you know. I think that would be extremely helpful if you were willing to do that.
Yes, certainly.
Well, good.
And Grazis, I'd appreciate that. Anything would allow us to have more mobility is a good thing.
And you visit Sora.
There's
Yeah.
that too.
Not,
And it actually, you see Villatrix get a sort of a thoughtful look, and I have a feeling we're going to have to get some tutors for our daughter. I don't
No.
want her to experiment too much in an uncontrolled space and hurt herself. And I do know the Lyceum there in Port Oris would be good for her to train.
Yeah.
We'll keep that in mind. Appreciate that very much. Anything else for the evening or before departing?
Party with Cass.
Yep.
Good bud.
Cass, you do know that you will kind of, as before, but Cass does have some magical training as well, as Cass has some wizard levels. And we'll play around with some magic to kind of entertain folks a bit, and tends to do things that sort of make things disappear and reappear a lot. Wrist pocket kind of stuff, but also summoning up little items, and then also making them just disappear because he casts invisibility on them. Then and drops invisibility. So he'll do a lot of that where it's just like you never quite know if he's summoning something or just making something not visible for a while. And it's just sort of this weird little tricks that he likes to do.
I'll do sleight of hand stuff
Sure.
as well.
Yeah, which guess that you actually from your vantage point there will catch that he's also doing that as well. So it's like imagine someone who's a sleight of hand expert who also has wrist pocket and invisibility. Like the kind of craziest you can make happen.
Mm.
And here,
So is Esk related to Cass?
Nope,
Nope, no relation.
No?
It's good
not
friend.
even.
Just everybody
close.
from your village all has like names that are anagrams of one another.
not even like your 10th
even the
cousin
same-
twice removed or anything
Nope.
weird like that.
None of that. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
I mean, I would say based on your coloration, you're probably actually, you would know that Kess is an odd color. The dark
Right.
gray is not normal. Reddish color is much more normal for kobolds. Occasionally, you get sort of a little more orangish or a little more yellowish, kind of goldish color, but the dark gray is really uncommon. You don't so.
And
But yeah, kobolds are
S
everywhere.
S does have his bottom jaw and leading down to his like scales on his chest. Those are actually like a more reddish tan.
Mhm.
It's a tanner red that goes down. But yeah, his scales are all red, leading down his arms and stuff. That's all bright red.
Satara, wild shaping into some astral space-based creatures will cause a lot of people to kind of like as so yeah so which ones do you pick? Because you have an assortment there to choose from.
I would probably go with the space guppy to start with.
Just to show how
And-
not this big it is.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's like almost the size of the kobolds, in fact, but it kind of floats around because of the big round body. It's more like a giant goldfish than it is a guppy. Essentially,
Yeah.
kind of
Amethyst
shiny,
likes that one.
extra eyes.
Fish are friend, not food.
Yeah, you keep saying this.
And then I'll ask him if he's ever seen a giant space hamster.
No, I have not seen any of this. This is all like a complete shock.
In miniature
So-
giant space.
Anything like this.
Yeah,
No.
well, a giant space hamster is like a 3-foot hamster. It's like, which is giant.
No, it's a pack animal.
Oh yeah, they're the size of a horse, aren't they? Yeah. So, boom, there is this massive-looking, like round-bodied, furry
And
hamster.
I'll give hamster rides.
Yep. Yeah. Easily cart people around on the back of the hamster. Yeah, a horse-sized hamster, basically.
I want to go.
That's cool.
Excellent.
The
So
kids
yeah.
would love that now.
Oh God, yeah. Any of the younger ones are just like they line up to for a ride and want to ride around on the hamster. Because they don't typically see things much in the area, much the region with fur in general. There are some large boar and some other things like that that are on the area there. But yeah, between Amethyst being a furry person and now this big furry round-bodied hamster thing, definitely able to entertain the group there for the evening. What the question are you asking there, Sora?
It's coming.
Oh no. So is the
Do you like to party?
so I would say based on that and just kind of the mood of what's going on there, meeting new people and everything else that the festivities will kind of go pretty late into the evening as the music is started up, the drums are brought out, and it'll turn into a full blown celebration. So eventually things wind down enough, people end up getting to sleep, And in the morning, you're able to set off. Um, Everyone is obviously, people is all waving goodbye. Esk and Kess would most likely stay below deck during the daytime as the sunlight is kind of harsh on you. Although covered up enough, it's enough to call it good. It's uncomfortable, but as long as you keep your hood pulled over your face, there, it's a little better. Um, uh, the ship takes off, heading almost due east, as it's heading straight across. Um, uh, it Ale will sort of keep a based on wanting to. The urgency seems to be there at least. So Ale's going to push the engines and push the flying a little bit more than she has recently, as you weren't so much in a hurry before, but this seems a little more urgent. And so you all sort of get into that same and Esk, this is your first time probably on
Yeah.
maybe on an airship before, because getting the places you did
once or twice, but
but this is a wild ride, as Ale will do her famous little sort of like slalom, not slalom, but the wave maneuver, essentially, where she pushes the engines, kicking the flight plates in to kind of get altitude, and then letting gravity take in along with the wind to pick up speed, then doing it again. So Tara, this is your first time experiencing this as well, as Ale hasn't had to really push things here. She gets a really crazy amount of speed doing this, because literally it's use the actual the fly spell plates to gain altitude, and then just dropping into this like dive with the sails kicking up there. And so she just sort of like does this. It's almost a strange climb. It's almost like a roller coaster. You kind of feel there, as she just rides the wind and uses gravity to the best effect she can. And you just see the ground flying by like faster than you've ever seen before, as she is just sort of like pushing the ship in a way it's not normally supposed to do. She doesn't make sure that everyone is secure before she goes into the full maneuvers. Once that, the captain makes sure everyone's clear and no one's in danger of being thrown off. And even Manuel isn't up in the rigging for these maneuvers. There, he's actually secured down on the deck as well, to make sure that nothing goes wrong there. But she makes really good time, and over the course of that first day, what would normally have taken, you're good halfway there over the first day. It would normally take about 4 days to get there, and you realize it's going to take, if she keeps this up there, it'll be maybe 2 days. So the ship is fairly taxed, though, and rather than pushing it there, it does sort of go into a kind of coasting mode as the accumulators all recharge and keep on their way.
We're gonna have to let it charge up, land and let it charge, right?
That's until it land. Essentially, the basic levitation accumulators there that they keep the ship in the air will be fine, but she'll just let the air currents, just the sails, do most of the work for a while. It's the acceleration that she was getting before that has to be that part has to be recharged. So effectively, give it a good overnight of normal flight. She'll be able to kick it in the next day as well. She also needs to sleep because she basically pushed this for a good 12 hours at the helm there doing this. So she gets a good night's sleep. The ship kind of coasts along, moving under the normal normal wind power and basic levitation. And then the next day, she's at it again. Hogarth makes sure that to get her course there, so she isn't going straight into the mountains there, going a little bit southeast down to here until the river comes in sight, and she then cuts up to the northeast, kind of using the river up toward the mountains. And rather than trying to get there when it's dark, she does sort of like they decide to coast a bit along the river and just kind of move along the way. But as the morning of the third day, sun is just coming up there, you will see a mountaintop castle carved into the side of the highest peaks. As you approach, even though it's middle of summer, it is covered in snow, the top of the peaks. It seems that it never quite melts. In fact, a lot of it seems to be not just snow, but more like ice, like actual like streaks of ice down the mountainsides on either side of this carved out section here. And the pale stone and especially the sun, the rising sun in the backdrop there, it almost looks like it's made of silver itself. Pale white, shining stone, as you will see a series of dark colored drakes flying in, like kind of circling around above. But yes, we'll tell you that you can land
Just to the left of where the main opening is.
Dale sort of like guides the ship in, and in this little alcove right to the left of the main entrance there is a large like multi like 2 or 3 story opening where there's a large flat space in front of it. The ship's able to come down there and land. Upon landing, you will see a whole series, about a dozen or so armed guards / soldiers. They're not weapons drawn. They're just sort of there at attention there. And Kess kind of looks over you, Sora.
It's okay, don't worry. They're not. They're just here to greet us, not to do anything else. I promise.
Ask you've seen like the honor guard and such like that, and typical. Like if they were there to attack, they would be not dressed up in their finery, and they would be like
here to attack.
ready to go. Yeah,
Right.
they'd also have more than just like they all are all wielding various like very uniform looking pole arms, kind of long straight poles with a almost like a curved sword blade at the top there, a glaive essentially. And they're ready to go. They'd be using a lot different weapons if they were there to attack. But the air is chilly. It is not frozen. Where you land there, essentially the mountain above gets progressively more and more snow covered and ice covered above. But where you land there, it's cool to the point where you can feel the cold, but you're not seeing your breath. So you are then...
Not that you could tell if Sora ever got cold or anything.
Right. So you will see one of the sort of the central figure there will kind of like gesture to you. Please, this way. And Cat's like, I guess
We're expected at least. So let's go.
Anyone else want to do anything on the way off the ship or anything else?
Oh yes, I need to send a message to Nils. Real
Yeah,
quick,
what-
like
Sure.
I need to get another
Yeah.
bracer.
Oh, you had essentially like a little over 2 days. So yeah, anytime in the last few days.
Yeah, my brain wasn't working. Sorry.
Not a problem. He will go ahead and I'll see what we can do. We got the specs for it, so I'll make sure Another one sent along here. Anything else y'all need?
Why I got nails? Y'all need anything?
Can't think of anything right now.
I do not know who Niels is, actually. Who's
He's
Niels?
the best artificer ever.
Never met one of those. So, you will then essentially the guards will sort of part there, just still sort of like standing there, poles out there, but not like at sort of that parade rest kind of sitting there, looking very formal. They're all silver dragonkin, all very uniform in size and build, though not necessarily gender. It's hard to tell exactly with some of them. They have the very ornate looking armor on, kind of a little bit more of a brushed steel look there, a little bit darker color there, making their scales stand out more in relief there on their faces and everything else. They have sort of long silvery blue capes hanging down, and they just stand there at the ready. The one that spoke, you are expected, so please follow me. Yes.
Yeah.
He gives a quick nod to Kess. Good to see you.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he's a little bit uncomfortable, but nods.
Cass, you're coming with us, right?
Yeah. I'll be along.
And you are led into this huge opening here. It's easily 30 to 40 feet tall as you enter there. This massive open space there. And they aren't doors that large. Essentially, you go into this open space, and there are doors leading into, and the doors are already open. There are large double doors that are already open. You see a hall that leads into the mountain itself. Everywhere you look, every like 10 feet, different heights, you will see sort of silvery blue lighting, giving this almost like starlight in that uh, sort of. They're not like super bright and large. There's these little pinpricks of light all along the corridor that give it this nice soft glow as you move down the chamber. And at the end of this main corridor, you see a lot of branching off, like hallways and doors and rooms off this main corridor. But at the end of the corridor, you are led into what is obviously a throne room. And there is a large seat, a number of other small chairs around the room, and sitting at there is a dragonkin female in very fine-looking blue and white and silver robes. You can see she is strong and but you can see you especially can see sort of the signs of age. It reminds you a little bit of your grandmother. Less of that matronly, like, stockier build that your grandmother has, but more just the faint fading of some of the color of the scales around the eyes, around the sides of the face. A bit of a stoop to the shoulders that's normally there. But she does stand. She is standing as you actually approach. Please, come in. I wish to speak with all of you, as I understand you are here to help with the issues that plague our cities. I am Siltera, the Queen of Azirith, and you are welcome here. Come. And with that, we'll cut to break as we are at that time.
Okay.
And welcome back. We are here in the throne room of Agiris before Queen Spatara. She is um seems as she's standing as you approach there, and I put a picture up there. It's the closest I could find really, but sort of that you see the horns and everything else of her. She has lots of different jewelry and bands around everything there. Very dressed in finery there. You see, again, the patches of where the silver has faded to lose a lot of its luster around the eyes and around the jawline, around the tips of her crest. But she still looks, as I said, strong, and her voice resonates through the chamber as well. And it's just her. You see, her guard does move, settle in with you, kind of taking up a space on either side of the doorway. Just sort of, it's just settling into that parade rest, sort of ready, but non-threatening. You don't see anyone else in the chamber at the moment, although there are more seats for other people as well. But she does beckon you to approach. It is good to see you. I am appreciative that you are here, and I understand that you have been instrumental in dealing with some of the issues plaguing the regions. And I would ask that you do so here as well.
I mean, yeah, of course. Gotta make everybody safe, not just part of the world safe.
It is our nation, the 5 cities, city-states really, all are very independent. We all have our own viewpoints on how things should be done, and I know that our nature of shunning outsiders cannot continue. There's too much of the world that has things to offer, and things that we can offer up to the world as well, that need to be done. But I am but one of 5 queens. With that, if you are going to be allowed access to the places where you need to go to be able to do the things that need to be done, you will need to have approval to do so, to be allowed to move unfettered and unbothered. I can grant my permission, and I do. I have heard of your deeds. I have spoken with those who know of you and what you can do. But we need at least 2 more queens to agree with us, to also offer their acceptance. The best way to do this is to meet with them in person, to speak with them, to show them. They may ask for things of you. They may have tasks to prove yourself. I wish it were not so, but it's a very transactional arrangement that they would offer.
So instead of dealing with this quickly, they'd rather put us through trials to figure things out.
I know it is not what should be done. What I can say, the issue for the moment contained. I don't know all of the details, as it is not my place to speak of the other regions and such, with the problems that have plagued the rest of the cities. It does not reach Agiris, not to the extent that it has other places. And I will ensure that my people are safe. I will ensure that the darkness that takes hold in other places, the corruption that may be festering in various other places, does not do so here. So I would ask, gain the approval of 2 more queens. I would not bother with Arya, as she is the least cooperative. She is the most close-minded and most selfish of all of us.
That does sound. Do you have a specific one you think we should talk to first?
Gordiana Azinkrel. She has always been open to the most open to the outside world, the least xenophobic of all of us, as she welcomes trade, as she welcomes travelers, and she would be the one most likely to offer up support. But I do know that she is very opportunistic in her approvals. She is cooperative, but also very shrewd and business-minded. I believe she would have a task for you, but would definitely offer up approval. I know that Desadir Hostanor is a fair-minded queen. She, though selfish in many ways, is still practical and willing to see what needs to be done. Tisha of Korviak, of Kuvriak, I know that the least amount. We have nothing to do with each other.
And she looks at looks at you, Grimbar.
She is very much akin to your kind in her outlook. She cares more for the mines and the accumulation of wealth and accumulation of, well, not so much goods, but is always delving deeper into the earth. She is the one who brings most of the wealth into our nation, to be fair. But she also tends to be more closed off than others.
Alright, I think we should start with her anyways.
Which one?
The last one you said.
Tisha.
Because if you can win her over, it might be just slightly easier to get the next one.
I cannot dispute what you say. I will say that she has, how to put this the best. She would watch the world burn as long as her house was fine.
I think we should go with the easier one first. The least xenomorphic one. Xenophobic, sorry. Xenomorphic. Yeah.
Gordiana. Zincrel. It is also closest. I mean, it is, I can at least, if you tell me where you're going, I will send messages ahead that they would expect you. If you wish. I don't want to dictate how you do this. I will not. But
If you
I
suggest
can,
that will help, then obviously that would be.
with Gordiana, I believe it would. If she is aware of your coming, she would, first of all, be very interested in seeing our airship, as we don't actually own any of our own specifically. So she may be interested in seeing your ship. And she may be willing to deal in ways the others may not.
Grimbar, you are fairly certain, and you can confirm this if you want to use some sending at some point here, that Mabel does have a contract with Stanor. Some of the goods they get that you help to arrange there are shipped in and out of Stanor, which is the Brass Dragon area.
That's
You
the
may
one
have.
on the coast, right?
Oh yeah, it's one on the coast there. Yeah, so yeah, I'll flip up the map here real fast.
That's where they had me, where the brass racks were, right?
Yeah, you kind of like moved back and forth between Kubriak and Stanor, because Kubriak is where the mining took place for the most part, and
Yeah.
Stanor is where they shipped everything out of.
Yeah.
So you kind of dealt a little bit in those areas up there, probably a little more in Stanor just to kind of oversee the actual shipments of things to make sure they got off properly. So you do know that there is a contract with some business interests in Stanor.
Okay.
So there is that at least, as she does mention that. You never dealt with the Queen directly, but you dealt with like the people that do the shipping and everything else.
Okay. Am I froze or is it Jim?
I'm not. I don't think I am. Am I frozen?
No.
Okay.
No?
I'm still here.
Discord's probably having issues. Can you
Everyone's
still hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I could hear him. He just kind of wasn't moving.
Oh, I may have been a little still for a moment. I'm not sure.
Mouth-
It's just- Oh, okay.
Let's play musical statues.
Woohoo.
Is Stanor brass then? Sorry.
Stanor's brass, yes.
Well, Anvil says it's bronze.
Oh, I did? Shouldn't be. Bronze is copper.
Bye,
is zinc,
Grimbar.
Did I mess it up? I'll fix it.
No. So
Yeah, it does say bronze. It also says Stanos instead of Stanor, so it confused me as well.
So are we able to walk through freely? Like, do I have to look like this? Or should I just be me?
I mean,
She looks at you and I am aware of your normal coloration. I have no issue with it. But other places and certain people you may encounter would. As much as I hate to say it, it is a very unfortunate thing that we have in this place.
So how many people know of me and my coloring? Because even if we do come through here and I am bronze, if they know who I am and know my true coloring, it's not going to make a difference.
I would venture to guess that very few would know.
I was
I
under the
own-
understanding that only one other person outside of this group knew to begin with.
Let us just say that I am aware of the best way to say this delicately. The interests of my grandson.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
Did you now?
Yes, I did. I knew it.
Yeah, okay.
I
I was giggling out loud. He said, I knew it.
Of course he's giggling out loud.
Aska's
He's a-
lost. Aska's
Um,
Aska's
Yeah,
Actually,
as
where
never
are you
seen
standing?
yeah,
Where
as
are you
never
standing?
seen Sora's coloration. So yeah.
Hey, where are you standing? Are you standing next to me? Because I'll lean over and tell you that her grandson is my boyfriend.
I don't understand why that matters. You're both metallic.
Yeah, because I'm not. I'm blue.
Big bug eyes looking up at you like, what?
Yep.
She's polymorphed. She's disguising her true self for safety reasons, which I think
Well,
you
yeah,
should
that makes
still do
sense.
for as long as we're here, because even if certain members of royalty know or whatever, still, if we go into that mountain, you're going to get more attention from being blue.
Yeah.
Effectively, if you're going to deal with any issues in the region, having the coloration you normally would have would be problematic. It
Mhm.
is also why there is no one else. Normally, I would meet with the council with my court. It is why I am meeting with you personally.
Mhm. Mhm. I appreciate it.
She gestures to the empty seats that are there.
Mhm.
None
It's
of them
also
are aware.
why I whispered it to Esk so that
Yeah.
it wouldn't even get on prying ears.
Sure.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Totally in blue, dude.
Yep. Bye.
Mm.
So, yes, I have long been opposed to any strategy, any issue, any of the behavior of this nation. It is reprehensible what our ancestors did, and what some still wish to do. It must be changed.
Yes, it should
And
be changed. It needs to be done, like yesterday. But in the meantime, I guess we're going to the easier one.
um,
Mm.
Sutara, being in this region here, you realize there is no presence of the void in this area. There is you kind of traveling the way you have and kind of focusing there. It is definitely to the north of here. It is you sort of kind of as you travel, it's almost like triangulation. You can kind of get little bits and flashes and kind of feel sensations and read it in the stars and everything else that what as you traveled here, there's little to no presence whatsoever.
Okay. I'll let the rest of the group know.
Okay. If there's anything that I can do specifically, please let me know. I will send word ahead if you wish. I will offer up my own recommendations and support. I just want to make sure that you're able to do what needs to be done quickly.
I think sending a message ahead would be the best. I don't know right now offhand if there's anything else. And she will turn around and look at the rest of the party and go, people with bigger, smarter brains, do you have any other things that we might potentially need? Nope.
Does she know? Does she know who was or who or what was buried in the tomb guarded by the crystal dragonkin?
Her eyes will sort of flick over toward Esk. Um,
I know of the legend. It was well before my time. The tomb is the the oldest place of the necropolis. I had never set foot there myself, but I know of what it is. And
What it is?
I believe, as the stories told, when the cataclysm happened, the dragonkin fled the old world as it burned and tore itself to pieces. Boarded ships headed across the Fargleam Ocean. But there were dangers of the ocean that had to be bypassed, that had to be overcome. And there was one who guided the ships. An ancient, one of the true dragons, led our ships across the ocean, guided us to this place. And then, it was said, perished here and was buried in that crypt. I will say, you are the first not of this nation to know this. And it was said he was a gold dragon. The reason why Aria was built there when the gold dragonkin settled there, where their ancestor specifically passed away. Centuries ago. Almost a millennia. But that is why it is guarded and sealed. That no one can go and disturb the rest of the guide. Their names lost in time.
The guide?
They were known as the guide, yes. They guided our ships across the ocean to a place of safety away from destruction of the old world.
Well, that's what Bahamut said it was too. So.
You say that out loud?
No. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I
You
will
like-
actually say that. I will say that out loud. Yes, because Sora's kind of in La La Land, staring at her potential grandmother-in-law. Yep. Definitely would have said that out loud. Very low, but out loud.
She definitely hears you because
Mhm,
she is very
mhm.
shrewd.
Mm-hmm.
You speak to the Platinum One. He speaks to you.
Well, yeah, blue dragon and all.
Oh, that's debatable.
I see.
I'm not with these people.
I would say do not spread that to others as it might cause them to hinder your efforts to do what you need to do.
I'm trying to
Well-
murder you a lot.
Yeah.
Some
Right now-
maybe. The idea that someone is able to speak to him and receive information, but also that there's great fear around
Mm-hmm. This is why I
The
said it
gods.
out loud.
about the gods,
Mm-hmm.
the dragon gods.
Yes. So it's my understanding that they don't exist anymore. And if that's the truth, then I shouldn't be able to speak with him. But I am. Which also
don't-
means that somebody might be able to speak with the other one.
Yes, that is the root of the fear, I believe. But
Mhm.
it is a matter of... There is... The idea that they're gone. Gods are not so easily killed. They left. Their presence left the world with the elders, with our forebears, our sires. When they left, their gods left as well. Or maybe they followed their gods to some place of safety. It is lost to the annals of history, and we have no way of knowing for sure. But it's a matter of various ideals, interpretations, thoughts, philosophies, and to have someone that can confirm anything, they will be focused upon in a way that will hinder your efforts, regardless of the type of attention you receive. So I
Mhm.
beseech you to keep that as much to yourself as you can.
That's
Thank
what I've
you.
been saying.
I thank you for telling me, though. I see why
Go ahead.
you. I see why you are, and the rest of you are all brought up into this. If you are linked in some way to these important events, then that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. So, for the sake of all the anonymity around here, outside of my group, my family are the only ones who know. I don't think I told Tundra, though. This is out of game.
Probably not. I don't think you did.
Or Doldra.
No.
Doldris. Yeah, so just Strega and Mom.
And Strelix.
And Sherlock's, yes. But she would already know that part.
Well, he never told her.
Oh,
She,
he's so
she,
sweet.
she definitely did not know this. She was shocked when you said it. So
Mhm.
it wasn't like you were confirming something she'd already heard. She definitely didn't know.
If
So.
your brother knows, I'm sure his wife knows.
Well, I told her as well. Actually, I told her to break it to him so that it would be easier so that I didn't have to do it.
So, I...
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Everybody's talking about these crystal dragonkin. What about these emerald ones that we fought once before?
She
The emeralds have not been seen in... The last emerald was seen 500 years ago?
We've seen them recently.
But in defense of those ones, they were being possessed by the void.
Yeah.
So I was
they
just
went
kind
right.
of curious where they might have gone, where they could have been. So where was the last place they were seen?
It was said that they all just slowly disappeared. Some say they passed away, some say they wandered off, some say they were taken away. It is, I mean, it is so long ago that I could not tell you exactly. I mean, when I say 500 years, I have no idea of the exact time period. It is a matter of half a millennium. Um, it is said some of the the Gemstone Dragonkin were much more attuned to psychic energies and such. They were more telepathic, more able to manipulate things with their minds. They didn't use elemental energies for the most part. They used other arcane or other planar type energies and such. The crystal dragonkins, they are attuned to radiant energy.
Okay. I'm just trying, chasing.
I do not know the others. Well, they've been gone for so long that I do not know. I'm sure some scholars, some historians may have more specifically. It is not something we've even considered for centuries. They've just been gone. But that you've seen them is worrisome, and if they are corrupted in some way by this void, I can only assume that this is related to the troubles that we have here.
So do I, and I figured that's what I was thinking. And if we knew where they were at, where they were last seen, we could maybe.
I mean, the Gemstone Dragonkin were never in large numbers. Among our people, the largest population were the metallics of very. The Gemstone Dragonkin were among our people as well, but less populous. And then, of course, the chromatics. They were the least populous.
The chromatics were, or the gems were?
The chromatics were. There were only three of the 5 chromatics even became Dragonkin. 2 never. 2 refused. They did not. They only arose in unexpected ways. Black and red did not exist when our people left the old world. I think the gemstone were more introspective, but they were numerous amongst our people when we settled, and then slowly they disappeared. And then the split with chromatic and metallic. And they were driven out, cast away, and then hunted and persecuted. And that must change. That must end. Please. We have spoken enough. If you have questions, of course, I can answer questions. If you wish to travel on, if you wish to rest here in the halls, I will have rooms made available to you. I will, I believe that, Sora, I believe you have someone to speak with.
Probably. Should probably talk to him, yes.
Yes, you should. I will arrange a place for you to rest for a moment, for a time, as you need, refreshment if you need it. And Sora, I will make sure that your presence is spread to the right people.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you are willing to do. All of you.
think it's in everybody's best interests, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
Esk will give a big bow.
Of course.
And
She will. Cass will because he actually has been standing kind of back out of the way. He did not really join with you up in the front there. He just sort of kind of hung back a little ways there. But he will bow as well and I'll kind of beckon you forward.
I can take you to the guest areas. Please.
And he kind of leads you out of the chamber. The guards stay in place. The doors are opened, and you're able to. You go back down the main hallway a bit there, off to one of the side hallways there, into some very nice, open, airy chambers. Multiple rooms, a basin for washing. Food will be brought in. Food and drink will be brought in. Essentially, kind of laid out there as you wish. There are sitting couches, sleeping couches, beds in various rooms there you can all kind of rest at the moment there. And as you are kind of talking amongst yourselves, kind of taking some food, whatever you're doing there will be a knock, and you will see to most of you, familiar looking silver dragonkin standing there, priestly robe, symbol of Bahamut. The platinum dragon on the robes there, standing there. Hello. And he actually looks around the room for a moment there, and then realizes, kind of like taken aback by Sora's actual appearance.
Yep, because we didn't tell him yet. Nope.
Nope. Didn't know we were going to be seeing him.
Nope.
Didn't know this was his grandmother.
Well,
I knew it. I was thinking it was an aunt or a cousin or something like that, but I knew they were related. Had it figured. Grandma's even better.
Don't forget you've got this guy's self if it's going to put him off.
yeah.
I mean, he just sort of like he doesn't look like horrified. He's just like confused, and it is you, Sora?
Totally. Yeah, it's me. We figured if we're gonna come in here, I have to be disguised very well. So,
Of course, not illusion, is it? It is not.
True
No.
polymorph.
All right. And you, for those of you watching, like he's sort of like definitely weirded out by it. Not.
He's weirded out.
Yeah, and in a way that's sort of like he's like not fully approving of it. He's like, no, this isn't right. Like he's like. But
don't worry, it's totally dispellable once we're done here.
Good. That is good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
It took a bit for me to get used to it. I'm still kind of trying to get used to it. I mean, it's different. I don't like it. And you know how I am with change. I hate change.
Well, and he kind of like takes your hand. Can we talk in private, maybe? He kind of like gestures back out in the hallway.
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay. You guys. So the five of you are kind of left in the room there as Stroggs takes Sora out in the hall. So talk amongst yourselves, or what is it you like? Is there anything you want to do or discuss or determine, figure out or plan while Sora steps away?
Are we traveling underground or above?
Above, it'll be faster.
Yeah, getting
Not
to
sure how
here.
close we can get with the airship.
Remember, Zinkrell does have it's a port. Airships come and go from there, so
And then
well, you might not be able to like cut straight across, but at least going around.
Can you get me in? And I'll look at Amethyst and ask her. Can you get me in touch with Iron R and Mavis?
Mavel, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That kind of a route will get you there, no
can-
problem.
I can send a message to them if you want me to.
Yeah, I need to, or can I? Can you? I can do it. If they actually gave me I
Does he have
can
a sending stone?
a sending stone. I can use it now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I mean, it doesn't need to be attuned. Yeah, you just need to know who you're talking to. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So send a message to Mabel. Okay. Um. Okay. Anything else?
Tell 'em- yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So while you figure out what you're going to do there, Sora, Sherlock takes you down the hall. Kind of walking along there, holding your hand. He's looking down at it and just kind of like shaking his head softly. Not right. I mean, it's you, I know, but I mean, this is strange. But I have someone for you to meet since you're here. Takes you down the hallway, and you will actually pass into a space there where you'll see there are a pair of guards stationed there, and what looks to be kind of a very ornate looking door. No markings on it, but very fine scroll metal work on the outside there. A very sturdy looking lock mechanism there, and very strong looking entranceway. He opens it up there, takes you inside, and you definitely kind of feel the divine presence, essentially. Not so much like oh, but just that sort of like wash over you. Your divine sense kind of like pings off this celestial. Not presence of a celestial, but it has that sort of like clerics work here. Prayers are made here. And while it's not strictly a temple, it's definitely place where clerics do their work. Takes you back, and you'll see there is off to the side there an alcove where there's a large statue of Bahamut, kind of glowing softly, all lit from various angles. This is where I've been training. This is the place. I've been trying to learn and well, tap into the power that, well, similar to you, different but similar, I suppose. And it takes you off to one of the side rooms, and there's a set of chambers, not unlike the guest chambers that you were just in there, and sitting in a little stool, like a high chair almost, there is a child.
Is that him?
That's him. And you see someone, and you looking at him, like you see some of the shiny silvery scales, but they're just too pale silver. And you are looking at a platinum dragonkin.
He's so cute.
He's tiny. I mean, he's like he's a toddler. I mean, he's essentially not quite. He's actually younger than your nephew at this point. Maybe a year old. He's just sitting there, and he's just sitting there quietly looking down at a platter of various like nuts and fruits and everything like that. He's sort of like shoving them around, like making little, like he's moving them around on the platter there, just sort of like just kind of looking there. He looks up at you, and also very pale, silvery platinum eyes staring at you. Just sort of like looks at you, and just no words, nothing. You don't know if he can speak or not. Just sort of looking at you calmly, and then back down listening there. Picks up one of the nuts and puts it in his mouth and starts crunching.
Wow. I
This
don't know
is
why I
him.
thought he'd be able to talk.
And
Hold on, let me try something real quick. You guys have probably already tried it. I'm gonna try commune again.
Okay. Give me a religion check.
So good at these.
I know.
Ooh, 18.
Nice. Okay. Um, and actually, because you're basing it off intelligence, or are you basing it off of
It's whatever religion
it's
is based
intelligence?
off of. Yeah.
Okay. So it's actually a little bit higher than that because you're technically basing off charisma. So anyway, there's a weird sensation. Like there's a sort of a like there's an odd like pressure you normally get when you sort of that it's almost like that heavy breathing, that
Mhm.
sort of that sort of like low rumble sound you normally get, but it's disjointed. Like it's almost echoey, like it's not quite working properly. And you just find yourself sort of like looking back at him, and the kid is like just kind of like chomping. He's looking up at you again, just like looking directly at you,
Do you
unblinking.
understand? Do you understand? In my head, I'm not saying it out loud.
Just sort of like looks at you. There's no like acknowledgement of it per se, but there's this. You feel that almost that low
Mm.
and like almost like there's like the sound behind you, but then this kid looking at you, and it's this odd juxtaposition of sensations and sounds. It doesn't quite. It's kind of odd.
Strolux, do you hear or feel that?
Not exactly. I can see what he's doing. I mean, he's obviously reacting to what's happening, but not. I don't hear anything like you describe. I'm. He does this quite a bit. I mean, he just locks eyes and stares, and he's like, it's kind of. He looks kind of like it's a little strange, you know. Like, and he kind of, and he
Like,
and he just like kind of looks at him like what? Kind of like looks up at him and kind of like okay, and then goes back to playing with his stuff.
yep.
Does Sora have a way of casting sending?
I was stoned.
Does it work on anybody?
Yeah, that's how it works. I can talk to you with it if you
Doesn't
want me
work on a
to.
god. Does not work on a god. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
You can't send
He's
a
a
god.
baby. He's a baby.
Well, I'm just saying.
He's adorable baby too. He just
Yeah.
pinches cheeks.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
recommend that.
Yeah.
I would. I'd
Of
pinch
course,
his
Sora
cheeks.
would.
Of course you would.
Essentially, as you go to do that, he sort of like kind of does this sort of thing, like, meh. And he picks up a little piece of dried fruit and tosses it at your face. It's bonk.
Oh, can I try to eat it while he threw it at me?
I mean, you can just kind of grab it out of the air and like pop it like
Yep.
this.
Yep.
Kind of just
Probably gross.
stares.
Jam hands everywhere.
Actually, not. He's not messy. He's just they're literally like dried fruit. It's not like jelly or jam or anything like that. It's like nuts and fruit and it's like just gives a little nod and goes back down to playing with his stuff.
So, this is him.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. Obviously, he's he's a smart little child. I mean, you'd expect it, but I don't know. He's well, a long ways to go.
He'll get there. He's smart.
So
Try talking with commune with him more.
I'll do so.
It might work a little bit better than just staring into headlights. That's not a thing.
Yes, I understand.
Oh,
I will. We will try many things, so it is a matter of well, we continue to focus on his well-being and seeing what happens. And making
while
sure
I'm
he's
here,
protected.
While I'm here with him, I'm gonna tell him about the last commune I had with Bahamut, with
Sure.
the name that isn't a name,
Yeah, guide, essentially title.
the guide. Yep, the title,
He does not know it.
and that the one city has no bad stuffs in it.
Well, this one, the one you're in.
Yeah, the one I'm in. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
I'm trying
As far
to
as
find
you're
where
aware.
I typed it out. Yes. Because I was there when Tora told everybody else. Yep.
Yep.
I typed it out too far.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna tell him all of that stuff, and in that I met his grandmother. Nope. Yes. Grandmother, and then I told her that I could talk with Bahamut.
Well, I'm sure she found that very fascinating. What else did she tell you?
They started asking her about gem dragons after that.
Okay.
So then we got into gem dragon history.
And did I just hear what you said? You mentioned grandmother.
Yeah.
And he just like, oh, and then all of a sudden he kind of blinks and went, like you realizing what you said.
Technically, I guess you'd say. I mean, like, Tondra is your grandmother. I mean, she had.
Huh?
I mean, essentially, her clutch. My father was in her clutch, and so it is not a matriarchal connection, but my father was, and my, yes. So, in a way, yes.
She said grandson. So
Yeah.
I'm just going by what she said.
Yeah.
Calm down. It's okay.
If she's
It
his
is-
father's mother, then yeah.
Well, remember the female connections in Dragonkin are a little bit more strong because it's person who lays eggs, the person who lays eggs, the person who lays eggs, as opposed to person who, because anyone can be a father to a Dragonkin. So
My father
a
was
little
human.
less, a little less direct connection,
Ew.
but still. So
I
anyway,
know. Human of all the races.
so it's a stronger connection if a daughter then gave birth to him, so, but it's still a connection. It's still there.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
it is. This part of the reason why my family was ambassadors and why I'm here in this position now. It is one of importance, obviously.
kind of gestures to the kid.
We have to watch out for him and then keep him safe and keep him secret.
Yeah, you do.
No one knows of this. None of the guards are allowed to pass by the main entrance, so they don't know that he's here. Only the priests know.
So I'm assuming you want me to not tell the rest of the party?
I will not tell you. Just as long as it does not get out that he is here and that he is and who he is and what we suspect he will be.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. We're going to be going to other kingdoms, as it were, to talk
Queen.
to other queens about doing possibly doing queendoms. Sorry,
Literally.
queendoms. To doing other challenges to get their approval because we need to have 2 more on our side apparently.
Essentially 3 of 5 for anything to get done. Yes, it's a matter of the queens being the majority in agreement.
Right. So any tips or tricks on for any of them? Any of them like, wants a box of chocolates because, can't get a box of chocolates or something?
I don't know them well.
I will say I think you might have a bit of uh, a bit of sway with the brass, as you did do that
We did
job
do the
for
thing.
yes
How did
the
you find out about that? You weren't here.
I know it got to me. I found out about it. Ambassadors speak to ambassadors. My
So
father
this
was still an
tattoo
ambassador
thing.
for. Yep.
What?
This
Yep.
tattoo thing.
Yeah, the statue where we got the head
Yes.
back. Instead of giving it to my brother, we gave
Yeah,
it
you
back to
returned it
the.
to yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean the Decidir family. Decidir is the queen. The they have connections. Most ambassadors to there are related to the queens in some way. Um, well, technically, most people are related to some of the queens in some way or other, distantly sometimes. But yes, there's a lot, and there's but yeah, they may be appreciative of the people that returned their idol.
Yes. And that's the brass.
Right.
Brass.
Yep. So yes. Other than that, I don't have dealings with any of the others specifically. Um, I never. I mean, I've only been living back here now since for about the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, when you went missing and couldn't be bothered to write a note or get a sending stone or
Yeah.
anything to at
Yeah.
least tell me you were alive.
hmm
Nothing. Just disappeared.
And you ran off with the Triton girl to go do other things and didn't bother to tell me you were going anywhere.
Um, that was because of your protection, sir. Mm-hmm. You were an ambassador. I was gonna go do very bad things.
You were?
Well, I was killing bad people.
Why is it bad?
Well,
That is, that is what
because
you.
it's still killing people.
But they're bandits on the road. That was what we were supposed to do. Take out bandits along the roads. I don't know. Regardless.
An argument that's not an argument. I love it. Uh-huh. Okay, so where'd the rest of the group go? I have no idea where the party is.
You're back at the chambers you left.
She just disappeared. Went
I'm
off to
showing
becomes
them-
a princess.
I'm showing
or
them a
something.
bunch of cool tattoos that I've got tattooed onto my arms there. That cool guard tattoo like of a
Mhm.
dragon, and passing along my little smoking fun thing. Talking about
screaming skull face. Yeah.
yeah.
Screaming skull face.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you I mean, you can probably tell them also about the Raven Guard as well from Raven
Yeah,
Watch. Infantry.
Raven's Watch, and all of the cools.
All the Kenku that live there.
Yep, fun little Kenku and like all sorts of fun stuff.
I heard about that place.
A
Yeah.
little bit oversharing. I'm kind of very excited. I've never seen so many different species. And
Nils mentioned his friend Squish was there, or something.
You
Mhm.
mentioned see that?
His best friend. He told me that Squish, his best friend, was there. Or
Yeah,
something.
you know a Kenku named Squish.
I know a Kenku named Squish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Oh
you?
my goodness.
Well, I mean,
Nils his best friend.
We
I
know
mean-
a Cancun named Boom too.
Squish literally is one of the eldest Kenku there. A phantom rogue in Raven Watch, specializing in dealing with undead spirits.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will tell them all about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So pretty.
Yeah, you've never
Very-
heard of Nils? Huh?
Well, you never. It's one of the you would have. You probably wouldn't have conversations with Squish, but you would have seen Squish and heard of Squish because they're essentially the oldest living Kenku there. Because Kenku, an 80-something-year-old Kenku is.
Mhm.
Cancun.
Yes.
Yep.
I would tell them all about Swish.
The few times you heard them speak, because they're in the same room with them, maybe at some point there, they use a weird Southern accent, a weird accent for a lot of the things that they said.
Because Nils taught them to speak.
Sit you down
Okay.
and like give you every word you need to have conversations with. So, anyway, with that, Sora, I mean, how you did stay there for a long period of time, or head back to your rooms? What's the plan there?
I'm probably gonna hang out here for a little while. I will send a message to Amethyst telling her that I'm gonna hang out here for a bit. I'll be back later.
Okay.
Yep. Just
All right.
remember, we don't want any babies on the ship, okay?
So my nephew was
Not
the
time for you
exception,
to
not the
become a
rule.
princess just yet.
Lord in heaven, no.
Okay.
Let's save the world first.
So, with that, you guys, as I said, food and drink are brought. You guys are able to rest. You check in with the captain. They're fine. The ship's fully recharging. Kind of we looked over. They're checking over the sails and the riggings and all the accumulators and everything else. Everyone's kind of doing their maintenance on the ships there. They can pretty much. They say give us a few hours to make sure that everything is tip top, and they'll be ready to go at any point after that. So, with some time to rest, look things over. Yeah. You guys can spend some time, a little bit of downtime. But after that, you're able to get back aboard. And so what is the plan? Where you're gonna head? Which way which way are you going?
How long will it take us to go to Zinthorel?
I think that will be about. Captain's. He's like straight shots would be roughly 3 days. More roundabout might be 4. If Ale pushes it, probably closer to 3 again. So 3 days to get there.
Jim, I will also tell them and remind them, at least those of us who were there, about the brass dragon and how we helped save
might
their
have an in
the
with them.
precious statue. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Bronze.
brass.
So that one
I'm
was
bronze. They
Yeah.
were brass.
Yeah, we found a brass figurine, a dragon figurine that had been stolen from the area, and Sora's brother asked her to get it for him, but instead Sora decided to return it to its rightful place and give it back to its people, and that's why Sora might have an in now with the brass dragons because of that.
When they were talking, I thought he said bronze. That's why I said
Yeah.
Sora's bronze.
Yeah, it is very confusing. Brass and bronze are to keep track, but
Yeah. They're both a little
yeah.
bit of copper.
Yep. And you would know, Amethyst. You would know that Mabel, the first person they lost of their group, was a brass dragonkin bard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah. Anyway, you're able to. So you get your rest. Exchange of information. Info dump from from Esk. Cass will check in. Cass will check in on you, but he won't be staying with you at this point. There, he's kind of going off to do his own thing, and check in with his people and his contacts and everything else. He's like he tells you that he, pretty much he has informants that send him information from various places, but Esk is the one that's actually been to all the different places. Cass has never really been to the other cities. He's mostly stayed here and the region around Agiris. But Esk is the one that can get you which way you need to go. So, Captain will let you know that Hogarth has plotted the course. They know the route they're going to take, and tells you that they'll actually be flying over right around here in this little gap on this little hillside here, a gnome village known as Glitter Rock, which is actually not part of Drakoll. It's actually just sort of an independent village that's right around here on the opposite side of these hills on the south side of that. Amethyst, you've been there before.
Yeah.
Close. You actually probably went. That was probably actually your family has been there before in their various travels. Because as you are now, kind of, your family
She's
mostly
not
ranged.
She wasn't adopted?
No.
No, I wasn't adopted.
As your family kind of ranged, this is kind of as far north as they ever ranged, but they definitely kind of crossed the river in various places along here, around the kind of the northern plains for the most part.
This is the closest I've been to the Everwind Plains since I left.
Pretty much the Everwind Plains start around here and go south.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been all the way up there in the white snow part?
No, in the hills
No,
over here.
this is like a green area. I'm from here.
Grasslands down into like savanna down here, and so then jungle
Traveling.
down to forest.
Traveling people with caravans that go and do trading from place to place. You probably met them. They tend to like dwarves and gnomes and stuff with trading. So
Yeah, they pretty much your family did occasionally range out over this way. You've been to Trenzel before. They kind of like stuck mostly the northern sections here. So pretty much the farthest south they went was along these hills along here, and then kind of up the coast, and then kind of hugged around. Traveled around quite a bit, but yeah, the northern Everwind Plains is where your family has been. So, anything else here before you went? Any other information you want to try to gather, look into, ask questions about, or be on your
potions? Buy potions. I need to buy potions.
way? Okay. What are you looking for?
Like the highest we can get without going super expensive.
Let's just double check here. Supreme is the highest.
I think so.
Well,
Or is it superior?
What the hell? Oh, hold on.
superior is 8d4 plus 8.
And if they had any potions that any of us could have, like, would be useful for us going into this, I'd probably be asking, like, Strelix that information.
I mean, like, if it mostly, like, what are you asking for specifically? I mean, like, saying what do you have as useful?
Yeah, some strength potions and some
Okay.
healing potions.
I
don't know. Grimbar, would you like some invisibility potions? Or
already got
Satara?
invisibility.
I have the ring that allows me to. I got the coin that allows me to go invisible for an hour. Now, if you can get me the greater invisibility that I can attack while invisible,
That is not a thing.
What's the one that's is it maximum power? Potion of maximum power.
I'm not sure what that is.
That's the one that I think that's the one that allows you that when you roll damage for dice, you just
do you need any potions or anything? Or Lucas?
So I have
Or Satara?
I have a couple of potions. I have a couple of greater healing potions.
I would like a couple of potions, healing potions. I tried to buy them before we left Port Oris, but nobody, I never got a chance to get them.
Okay. So I will say this. Effectively, Strolix will provide 10 basic healing potions, 4 graders, and 2 superiors. Just give them to you. You don't need to buy them. He's like, nope, you're not paying for these. Take them. Other potions, they don't have alchemist on the staff pretty much. So, Ask, you know that there are some alchemists that trade out of Zinkrel. There's definitely more there. Agiris. Oh, hold on.
Also, we can talk about it later, but because I'm Blood Hunter, I do have alchemists as as a proficiency as well as herbalism. So theoretically, I could also
make some basic stuff here.
Make some basic stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. He will. There's. Sora, he will hand you a Ocean of Frost Giant Strength.
Frost Giant.
Like we've had this we've had this kind of tucked away for a while. So you should take it. Hopefully it comes in handy for you. Other than that, we don't have alchemists on staff for the most part. Healing potions we make in quite quantities, but other ones we don't really do a lot of.
Yeah, this is totally workable and doable. I like it. Appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll kiss him on the cheek.
Well, you'll be safe and check in. Let me know where things are going, where you are.
On the cheek.
Yeah. He's been playing with babies. It's totally gonna be on the cheek.
With that, you guys, if nothing else you want to ask about, look into, or check in with,
you got to send a sending stone to Ironar, but I can do that while we're on the ship.
Sure. Absolutely. And so you don't need to type it out 25 words or less. What's the gist of what you're asking for?
Basically, I give him, I need to be in contact with his highest contact in what's the city?
Stanar,
and it's of utmost importance. We're gonna go see the Queen, and I need full leeway with him.
Okay. Well, so the basic gist there, he will send it back to you. Check in with our man at the docks in Stanor when you're there. You worked with him before. He'll have the information for you.
Okey-doke.
Yep. So, with that, you're able to hop on board the ship there. The ship sort of takes a straight, a little bit southeast. Kind of a dotted red line, this one as well, as it goes sort of down this way and then hugs the coast. As we're not flying directly.
And we went that way. Why?
Most of us are not flying directly over the hills and mountains, where anyone's going to be causing any issues for flying over Drakoll, essentially. Okay. Kind of flying this way. No one's going to question you. You can whereas opposed, you might run into trouble from people. So that's what they suggested was just take a little circular route around the outer edge. That way, no one would have any reason to bother you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when we leave here, we can go to the Everwind Plains and get something from there. Although I'm sure I have things from there already, being a little trinket hoarder.
All right. Along the way, you as you do leave, you do see that there are a number of Drake riders who kind of like fly up along from the mountainside there, leaving Agiris. They'll be kind of flying along there, kind of watching over. You can see kind of the silvery looking, the silvery armor, silvery scales of the riders that are on there. They sort of like kind of swoop and bank alongside the ship there, and then kind of fly off there. They sort of a dark gray looking color of the scales of the drakes. Not sure that those are, but they sort of fly them off, kind of circling back around Agiris. They kind of do kind of a flying pattern patrols around the city itself. What you will have in the time you were there too. The city does kind of extend down into the mountain itself as well. There's lots of carved out chambers below where a lot of the kobolds and such live year round, because they prefer to be underground for the most part there. But there's a lot of chambers, a full like city underneath the castle at the very top, and there are various ways in that into that space as well. But you're able to fly along, kind of cut along here. Amethyst, you see, this is the closest you've been to there. You can see to the south, off the starboard side of the ship there, the Everwind Plain stretching out. The green rolling, like terrain, dotted with trees here and there. Just this massive open stretch that you've traveled all throughout your childhood, all through your young adulthood, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
It's been well over a year since you left at this point.
It has. And you probably see Amethyst just sort of wipe a tear away and, look over, just in a bit of a world of her own for a minute.
Yep. You glance over, and Eyes and Ears is standing there too,
Yeah.
kind of looking out over the distant terrain.
Esk
I'll
would
smile
walk
at
up.
him.
Esk would walk up. Yes. I traveled here for quite a while, for a number of years. How long has it been since you traveled here?
This is my home. It's been about a year now since I was there, but that's where the family is.
Yes. Are they a part of the traveling, or do they have a settlement?
They have caravans.
Yes.
Yeah. You've seen a lot of the large caravans full of tabaxi and such, with their pack animals and wagons and everything else travel across the plains.
I'll hold up one of my rings. This was purchased here. A wonderful enchanted item that I purchased from a lovely caravan of individuals. Great tea. Wonderful tea. But also, yes.
Could have been my mother. Who knows?
Tea. You
No,
don't
your
strike
family.
me tea people.
Oh no, he drinks. He already had Kool-Aid. This is not a teetotaler, but that was great tea there. Moroccan mint.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I don't think Emma would be into tea.
Yeah.
As you kind of travel along on the second day of travel, you are literally passing over the village of Glitterrock, and it is just this stacked. this just and you're flying a few hundred feet up at this point there. You just see this like these squat round stone buildings, like stacked stone, like almost like adobe brick type thing like that. Just all just it's just like dozens and dozens of them kind of laid in almost like a random order. Some butted up against the hillside, some are like dug into the hillside, just scattered all over the place there with like little animals and farms and fields, just crop fields and everything else that no discernible pattern to it whatsoever. The only thing you can tell from the sky is that a lot of the buildings have rocks that literally kind of shift and glimmer as you look at it there. There's like a high mica content in the rock there, so they all kind of glitter and gleam, which from the sky looks really, really strange. It's all like the buildings have these little like glittery blocks in them stuck into them as you pass over. A very and from the sky you can also tell that yeah, very likely, and this you know this, primarily gnomes and halflings. They're all short there. um, like it, you can kind of tell because every now and then if there is someone who's not a gnome or a halfling there, it's obvious they're like double the height of everyone else around there.
Mm-hmm.
But realizing that they definitely are not they're not from around there if they as they are standing well over double the height of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So you will eventually then see the coastline, the ocean, very rocky and choppy along this base here, as the ship sort of cuts along the coast. There, seeing the hills off to the left there, the ocean off to the right side, and it's a large stretch of a fairly choppy water out here, looking out across as the ship is coming along there. You will occasionally see drakes flying over the hills. The terrain along here is more tall, rocky hills rather than the mountains they are back here. But you'll also see that pretty much along the coastline as well, kind of below you, is a trade road. There's obviously, you'll spot some wagons traveling along that road there, moving up and down there. You'll actually see, a number of just obviously things, some odd creatures, not horses, but more like
Giant gerbils.
No, they're horse-like, but they'll have either like odd horns, or one is being pulled by what look to be striped horses. These vertical stripes up and down their sides.
Nice.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah, the savannah to the south there, you don't find horses roaming the plains out here. You find things like antelope and various forms of odd-looking elk and zebras along parts of the plains down here. So some of the creatures pulling the wagons are actually zebras or strange antelope or elk.
For our non-American folks, zebras.
I said zebras.
I heard you.
I speak American. I know I can say zebra.
So,
Do you though? Do you?
I can translate from English to American and back. Yes.
All right,
Uh.
so on the ship, we can
Yeah.
see the ocean. This is probably the first time Sora has seen the ocean in a while because we've been to Port Oris where they have a port, but we haven't actually been in the water. So
Yeah.
Sora's probably going to go in the water.
It's a little strange. The water over here is a lot smoother. While the water's a bit choppy, it's not like the ocean that you were at.
Right.
Over here, it looks a lot. I mean, it's kind of rolling waves and everything else. As you dip down to the water itself, it's warmer. than the water on the other side. It's the Atlantic versus the Pacific in this case. This is the Atlantic Ocean as opposed to the Pacific over there. So,
Ooh.
so the water here is definitely warmer, just in temperature. You're like, wow.
That's
As you kind
eating it.
of, of course, yes. More,
Come on,
more
Grimbar.
animals.
It's not that scary.
So, seeing as you basically went overboard and are swimming on the water there, the captain does slow down the ship a little bit, so you're not left behind. And does bring the
Because
ship
that's
down lower.
Not normal for me. Come on, they know this is coming.
Well, it's the first time you jumped overboard since there's a fight.
It's true.
So-
This is true.
Maybe she'll catch
Yes.
dinner. Maybe we
So,
can
as this is the banner,
maybe
do
we
we
can catch-
also have like lions and stuff?
Not exactly. No, there are some larger predators, but they're more. There aren't.
tigers.
There aren't big cats. Like you're the only cats that are around.
Okay.
But yeah, there are some larger predators. They're more like hyena type things. A little more canine like. That make up the predators of the area there. Varying sizes and shapes and colors and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to point those out to Satara. Like, don't pay too much attention to the stripy horses. Look at those ones. Look how badass they look. And how good at fighting they probably are. Look at the predators. Aren't they cool?
I mean, you
Look
could-
at the predators. Aren't
You can
they
take
cool?
some time to, as you can fly as well. You can take some time
Amethyst.
to check out some of the animals that are down there.
What?
Effectively, you could pick up giant elk, and then giant hyena.
Oh.
If you
Okay.
wanted to have some more. I don't know what CRs you can get into exactly at your level, but I know one. Okay, so yeah, so probably not the giant ones, but yeah. Anyway,
there's
there
a
are.
bunch you can do. It's giant hyena, the dire wolf.
Yeah.
there's a bunch.
Effectively, yeah, there are various creatures there. There are some predators roaming the area there that you can pick up those forms as well. Watching and studying them, people flying down and kind of looking at them up close where you can. But yes, within essentially your third day, and Ale will make up time whenever she can. Kind of pushing things along, kind of making things there. But your third day, you will be coming on the coast there and see Zinkrel spread out. It is sort of butted up against the hills behind it there, as the city sort of stretches out in this broad, flat, coastal city. There are dozens and dozens of clusters of docks all along the coast of this city there. It's just kind of a sprawling, spread out place. And you'll see a lot of people coming and going. There is one other airship that's docked kind of on the outskirts of the city. There's no like skyport to land in here, but there are places the ship can land. There is another one that's kind of it's landed on the outskirts of the city there. There is a wall stretching around there, but there is a trade gate that you can see that the road along the coastal road actually will go right up to the trade gate there. You're able to land, and effectively there doesn't seem to be any issue with disembarking and heading into the city itself. So it is a very squat flat city. There may be the tallest building is maybe 3 stories, and there are only a few of those. The walls themselves are about 12 feet high, mostly molded stone. and such, with various guard towers on the way there, kind of keeping tabs. There are occasionally flying over Drake riders that will roost up in various spots, and flying. It's kind of flying from space to space there, ranging out over the water a ways, and then back, just keeping an aerial view of coming and going of everything going on. You count maybe 20 or so that kind of flying around in various patterns, some in pairs, most of them singly. Um, uh, and with that, as you enter the city itself, it is, we'll call it late day, late afternoon. The sun is starting to go down, and you will see mostly bronze dragonkin wandering, um, varying sizes, shapes, builds, style of clothing, just a very eclectic group of them. Quite a few kobolds as well, kind of scurrying along there, cloaks up there in the last part of the sun, kind of moving along there, kind of scurrying in various places there, and then scattered throughout other races, some humans, some uh, uh, some look to be maybe half elves, elf heritage there. You can tell. You don't really see too many dwarves. There are some gnomes, some halflings, and then occasionally sort of a people walking along with kind of a bluish tint to their skin. And those of you who met her there, very likely Tritons.
Triton.
Oh, I know who they are.
Yeah, I do too.
You've seen a Triton before, and so you're not totally caught off guard by the fact that two of them have bluish skin. But most coastal cities in this part of the world are going to have some of them.
What a callback!
I know.
Right?
Like,
That was like
Like-
2 years ago.
is
Almost.
this where
Really?
Is this where she
No.
got taken back to?
She's from here, way over
She's
here.
from here. Okay,
That's
but
Trendle. Yeah.
so she didn't get taken back here. She just
No.
okay.
This, they may have made a stop here along the way, but she was from Trenzel, which is
We're
way
not
down.
going to be going to find her.
Yeah.
Want to go find her.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much, almost invariably, every person with kind of the bluish skin there is going to be near the docks. They're not going to be away from the area there.
They water people is what it is.
Yeah, they're aquatic. Yeah, they're half. Well, they are amphibious.
Almost like mermaids.
Well, descended from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You'll see a number of people at some point as you do approach, as you kind of sit there, you'll see this Esk. You'll spot a couple of different people sort of like standing around watching, and you recognize these are the guys that sort of like maybe somewhat disreputable, kind of just casing you out to see if you're going to be good people to try to steal from. A couple of them, they're also oftentimes looking for people to help for pay, information broker kind of thing like that, saying, "Hey, I can tell you where you need to go." So there's a number of people like around that are watching coming and going there. It's kind of hit or miss whether they're going to be reliable or not. So as you enter town, where would you like to go to do whatever? As you have the place laid out before you.
I think we should go find an inn to pay up and get ready for, in case we're here for a long period of time.
I mean,
Well-
I've been here.
So same with this.
If the airship's not going anywhere, there's no reason to be paying for an inn.
I don't want to sleep on the airship anymore. I'm so
Okay.
tired of that airship. We've been on it
Well-
for a week.
It's a little cramped.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I thought it was a great space.
Yeah.
That look then. Did you see that look that Nance gave her husband? That was hilarious. Poor Nick.
Uh,
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's
So-
the most wife face ever.
Right.
Yep.
How dare you speak?
That's blood.
As you do know that up against the hillside there, and you can kind of see it. It slopes a little bit up toward the hills from the coastline up the hills there. You can make out the larger what's obviously structure would be considered the palace. Effectively, it is not a tall structure. As I said, it's about 3 stories. The kind of very circular domed roofs, a whole series of them, but right up against the hillside, with a secondary larger wall in front of it there.
So, like, is this kind of, as far as the architecture goes, like Spain, like
I think like Arabian, like, very
Arabian,
yeah, sort of like the very
Alhambra Castle,
yeah.
Castle in
I
Alhambra,
think
Spain, or
like
whatever.
Cairo / Morocco, that kind of thing. With everything has sort of a smooth, polished thing, like stucco and Adobe kind of thing like that. There's no like brick or segmented stone. It's all been like smoothed over. Everything has sort of a rounded structure to it. There's very little right angles on the structures of this place. There's a lot of round buildings, a lot of domed roofs. You don't see shingles really per se, unless they're like clay-fired shingles, like the Moroccan style, on some buildings and such. So, but yeah, not tall, not and very sort of rounded, flowing shapes everywhere you look.
Efficient, not ostentatious.
Yeah, they don't build for height. They're not trying to make things impressive. It's just it's a very wide use of the space there. They just kind of spread out. And again, the walls for defense on the outside kind of go right up to the actual docks, right up to the water's edge, and then just like clusters of docks all on the coast, multiple sets.
So I think that at least for the time being, especially as a couple of us have already been here before, we don't really have any help or involvement from any of these people that may or may not be dodgy. And if anybody tries to approach, I'd like to just be as intimidating as possible for the time being, just so that we can get to where we need to be as quickly as possible and try to just get through whatever it is that these people are going to be asking of us, so that we can go and do what we need to do.
While she's saying that, Sora's looking at all the food and drinks that we're going to be walking by that she cannot have because Amethyst is going to be pulling her along. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you can't stop and get food. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I'm just saying that these people who might be offering their services and may or may not try to steal from you or stab you in the back as soon as you turn a corner, I think we should just try and not interact with them as much as possible. Just tell them that we're not interested and leave it at that for now.
That works. Mm-hmm.
Amethyst, as you're watching, and Esk, as you're watching there, everyone that like considers coming up to you doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
As you are a very intimidating, eclectic group of people that obviously have a lot of stuff, and you have the look of people that if they did try to mess you, they would just get killed, like instantly. So everyone that sort of like no, like starts walking toward you and takes a good look at all of you together and go nope, and just kind of turn. It's sort of like everyone that looks at you just immediately says nope. And yeah, you are obviously, as a collective group there, armed and dangerous looking and people that are not to be messed with. Or you're able to stop at various food vendors. There's a lot of like kebab type things, like meats on skewers, with all sorts of different spices and
meat on a stick. What is better than that?
Fish on a stick.
Yeah,
Fish on a stick.
Yes, you will find. Yeah, very. Yeah,
Fish
you are
kebabs.
coastal. There's fish kebabs. There's meat kebabs. There's odd. yeah, you go find all sorts of interesting food you've never
Falafel.
seen before. Yeah, very much. Lots of like strange rolled, like flat baked items. Um, smell lots of very spicy type things and rich
Chicken
smells that.
shawarma.
Yep, yeah, it's very much that sort of
Stopping at each one and taste it.
yeah, curry of various kinds. Yeah,
Armholes over here, bags
yeah,
hanging off
sort
on
of.
one
You just
side.
like
Yep.
and
Mhm,
it's all very very unique and very good. Um, so you're
Yep,
able to kind of settle along there.
is good.
Yes,
mhm.
absolutely. Me too. Um,
Oh, we got it. We just had an Indian place open here a few years ago. They got some good curry. Mm.
um, you will spot also a couple of vendors. There's definitely
Oh,
uh,
at least a
there
couple.
is. Well, I mean, they're like actual shops that you can see. You'll see very like rolling carts and stuff like that. But I mean, the actual shops are permanently there. You will definitely see like potion makers. You'll see various. You kind of hear the clang of an anvil going there. Weaponsmiths. Um, you just see all. You catch a whiff of um, a tanner, which is never a good smell, but there's definitely some leather workers that are there. Um, Effectively, a massive city with all the things you could possibly want to look into is laid out before you. It's not hard to find an inn. There are Esk, you know of three good inns.
Yeah.
Amethyst, you know of two, one of which Esk also knows. So
We should go with that one then.
the one
The
you
one that
both
we
Yeah,
know.
if
both
we know,
familiar
Yeah,
with. Yeah.
if we both know, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It effectively is it is a just a actually a sort of a walled in little space. A short wall, about 4 feet high, with a little bit of a decorative top around there, just kind of a smooth wall around this open courtyard where there are just tables laid out in under the sea, and just a cluster of almost like separate buildings. Like there's one central building that's open and has sort of a bar slash counter all around it there where people are sitting and eating and you can smell things like that. And there's a cluster of almost like cottages. Like there isn't one building, it's a cluster of about 8 buildings, the one central one and like 7 other small round buildings that all have doors on them that you can essentially rent out each one as a separate room essentially.
Yeah, I'll get my kobold-sized room.
Yeah, they definitely have the two of the rooms are obviously meant for like shorter folk, and the other 5 are meant for larger folk, um, and it's yeah negligible amount of coin to you guys at this point, so you guys can secure rooms, get lots of food, um, eat out as the night starts to fall. The stars all come out there. You can just hear the sound of people and see all the other strange food smells. Um, all the strange as Sora, you've never been around this many dragonkin. Like everywhere you look, mostly bronze, like you are currently, but there are a
Mhm.
smattering of other colors as well. Um, uh, Not chromatic, however. You don't see any chromatic among the group, among the area. Lots of kobolds. Again, a smattering of other races here and there.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, but you have, as so the sun finally fully sets, the stars come out. You're able to enjoy food and drinks under the stars at a table, and settle in the city of Zinkrel, where you need to have an audience with the queen. But that'll be for next time, as we are just about out of time here. Any last things you want to do or say or throw around in the chat
I'm
here?
using the propel object spell to fire small morsels of food directly at Sora's face, and she's just standing there with her mouth wide open. at the moment. So
You draw a bit of a crowd, obviously, like this kind of like clapping and cheering as you're just launching food into this bronze dragon's face. Umph, 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 umph.
Never have she's ever seen so much food in one place.
Yep.
All new food.
Little chunks of meat, little chunks of vegetable, chunks of
I'm
fish.
going to stand next to a Grim Bar.
maybe the odd bug just to see if she
Alright.
notices.
Listen, if you stand next to Grimbar, she's already put her extra food in Satora's hands, and in Amethyst's hands, and in Grimbar's hands, so you're gonna be next.
Grimbar. No, Grim. You start handing Grimbar food, he's gonna walk away from you and eat it.
Yeah, well, she's giving you all the extra foods that she's finding. That is how she's working, whether she eats it or not.
Anyone thinks she'd never eaten before? Okay.
With
But
that,
yeah, I'm sure we can go shopping and send you a list of the things that anybody needs.
Yeah.
yep. So some things you want to look for, things you want to check out. Obviously, there is a meeting to arrange, and with that, we will call it for today. Those of you watching out there now and in the future, thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know there's a lot more RP in this one, a lot more lore in this one than normal. But this is a brand new area to everybody, and so this has never been seen before in the world, and so there's a lot to check out and a lot to do. So hope you had fun. Hope you all enjoyed out there, and we'll see you again real soon. As always, thanks for hanging out. Check out the Tanker if you want, looking for games, looking for DMs, looking for players. And next time you're here, drinks are on us. See you again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.